But what I'm hoping it's doing, it feels like a standalone film, and I feel like
like its own thing.
Yeah,
kind of like the Joker, right?
Yeah.
How they did that. That's the feel I had. I was like, so I don't like Twilight but mostly because when I was in college, I was dating a girl and she was like in love with that motherfucker. So I hated his ass. I was like, I saw it. She was like, oh Robert. I'm like, fuck him. You're with me right now. Fuck that guy.
my wife was really into this shit. We have the books at home.
You guys want anything to drink? Water? A drink?
You never?
Adult beverage drink? I don't know. Are you old enough to drink? You look like you're about 15, bro.
It's his voice.
It's okay. I used to have it too, man. I used to look like that. Now I'm old as fuck. In my 30s now. It's ridiculous.
It's all good, bro.
So it's fun to be an asshole sometimes.
Sometimes.
Just sometimes, a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I don't know. I'll just start us off, man.
Cool.
And that way we'll edit it. So, it's been a while since I've done this. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the PlayMariachi Podcast. We have Los CharroBeans in the house. Literally in my house.
Literally in your house.
So, for guys watching my channel and follow the podcast and all the stupid stuff that I do, I moved to Texas. Mm-hmm. No longer in AZ. I missed all my folks back in AZ. Miguel, we miss your stupid Upalupa face on the podcast, bro. Hope to see you out here. Hope you're doing good. And go fuck yourself. And we have Sammy, Ramirez, and Victor. Victor, you didn't get your last name.
Estrada.
Estrada?
Estrada.
Yeah, that's gotta be tough, bro. Like with fucking Chips, like the what's his name, Mr. the Estrada guy from Chips and all that shit. Maybe I'm just old as fuck.
Maybe.
Like what's his name? Eric Estrada. He's like
I know him.
He's like a coconut, right? He's brown on the outside and white on the inside.
You know who that is? Eric Estrada?
Oh man,
dude, I always have this problem with him. I'm always like, hey, dude, do you know this?
This is why I have the TV in here. We're gonna fix this problem right now.
He's a brown dude. That's for sure. He's brown. You dressed up like a cop or something like that,
yeah,
right?
that was the show, like Chips.
Yeah, was it Chips?
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure. I can't play the.
Yeah, that's him. That's Eric
here we go. Pero you're not brown like him though.
Yeah, you're not brown. Cool. You look like the dude next to him. That white.
I'm like a mix.
Yeah.
Like a mix. Yeah, like right there.
Yeah,
it's
those
like
are your dads.
He was kind of like a TV show star in the '80s. But like George Lopez always talks shit about him because he's one of those creído dudes. Yeah, like, I'm a celebrity, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's cool, bro. Yeah. My name is white as shit, so I've always had a hard time.
Yeah.
You know, my first name is Sterling.
Sterling?
Sterling is my first name.
So
a lot of people, like even in the mariachi world in like Tucson and other places, some of them know me as Sterling.
Oh, really?
Just because. When you're going through mariachi in high school, right? Well, what's on your fucking attendance call sheet, right? Your first name.
Yeah.
And so Johnny was always like, calls me Sterling by my attendance when I'm in his class. Johnny Contreras, he still teaches Pueblo Mariachi Aslan.
Oh, I think I know who that is.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
Güerito, kind of tall.
Yeah.
And so he kind of was always like, he always called me Sterling. Hey, Sterling, that's a cool name, bro. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, Mr. Contreras. I'm getting picked on every day when someone calls me Sterling, bro. Right. Going to the most Mexican school in Tucson.
Yeah.
And so that happened. And then Cuco, to see it before he passed away, I was in his group a long time ago after I graduated. And he would call me Sterling.
Esther?
He would call, hey, Sterling. I'm just like, Cuco, my name's Sterling. Just call me Jason, okay? Call me Jason, please. So yeah, I'm the last person to talk shit about somebody's name. I have
name.
I have the whitest name for the brownest, meanest looking dude. Yeah. It's like I throw so many people off. Mm-hmm. Like when I went to college, my college advisor, it's like Sterling Davenport, and I'm just like in a white tee. I'm like, that's me.
Sterling Davenport sounds like a kind of like a James Buchanan like type liquor, like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like something like that,
like a brand name.
Like a brand name, yeah.
Like I should be on a bottle of scotch.
Or you sell insurance.
Yeah, yeah.
Premium insurance.
Premium insurance.
Yeah, like that premium shit. You know what I'm saying?
Fortune 500 insurance.
How's that? Some like exactly. Sounds all fancy and shit.
Well, I appreciate you guys being on here. You guys are my first podcast since before COVID. Really.
Yeah.
I think I did maybe one or two. Like I did a couple Zoom podcasts.
Zoom ones. Yeah.
I didn't like doing those. I mean, I like talking to my friends, and that's really the only way I could talk to them.
Right.
But being face to face is really the best way to do this, you know.
Yeah.
So we're socially distant, right? About, I think all of our vavas will probably fall right down there. I'll have to like burn all
I
the
think we're
mics
good.
later.
Yeah.
But man,
Bleach.
but yeah, I'll just spray bleach on them. Buy new condenser mics.
Yeah, for real.
So tell me, man, what is mariachi like out here in Dallas Fort Worth, dude?
DFW?
DFW. I mean, I know that San Antonio is kind of similar to how Tucson is like the original spot for mariachi back in the day.
Right.
And I also know that San Antonio had the first ever mariachi conference ever. And then Tucson was the second one after that.
Okay.
So I knew that Vargas used to come to San Antonio back in the 70s, and they did a conference there. And then later on, the guys in Cobre found that out, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to go to San Antonio conference. They won or whatever, right? They were like the best youth mariachi there. And then they did the Tucson conference like in the early 80s, late 70s. So I know about that, but like DFW, I know there's mariachi here, but I have no idea, other than listening to your podcast, what the shit's like up here.
What it's like over here. I think in general, a lot of people don't know that there's a lot of work or just like shit goes down here. You know what I mean? I think it's just because when you think of Texas, you think, okay, well, capital, Austin, you think San Antonio, or Dallas, but you don't know like the DFW, which is Dallas Fort Worth. You know?
Yeah.
Like nobody knows what the fuck Fort Worth is. Like we've talked about this. Like nobody knows what Fort Worth is.
Yeah, you just say you're from Dallas.
Yeah, I'm from Dallas, but it's not. You know, like Fort Worth is its own city. But I mean, here it's just kind of not talked about. But it's very busy. People always ask me like, what's it like to work over there? I'm like, it's busy, man. Like it's there's a lot of work and there's enough mariachi. There's a lot of mariachis, and there's enough work to supplement all of them. So that's what's cool about it. Yeah, it almost feels like sometimes it never runs out, which is good. Like if you're consistently playing like us, you know. So
yeah,
it's fun. I mean, I think it's
because back then, like the people like around this time, more students are being involved in it, you know?
Yeah.
Because before us, like if you looked at the groups, there weren't as many groups either. I think we talked about it last week too. There were about 6 groups before like 2000.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of groups.
And they were not into social media, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
they're old heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of now that it was around our years when we were in high school, when a lot of those kids started branching out and playing in other groups, like all those groups used to have like 40 and up dudes. And then next thing you know, they start implementing like us 15, 16, 17-year-olds. Because we were all right, you know, so when we got into the group, we like kind of started that whole cycle of all these kids from high school are like, oh, we should probably make some money. Yeah. And not work like at McDonald's. So then they start playing gigs in Talon and all that stuff. So that's how they started. And now little by little, like all of them now, there's even like groups coming out of high school.
Yeah, start making their own groups.
They make their own groups. They're like, we know enough songs like from school to start playing at the local little restaurant, and they start taloneando.
Nice.
Yeah, but back then, if you looked them up on like Facebook or anything, they wouldn't come up. You know.
The
only thing you found out about them was they had cards.
So old school business cards.
I mean, we still have them too, but like that was their only form of advertisement. There was no like, follow us on here. Look us up on YouTube or whatever. If it was like some shitty Nokia fucking video. We still have some of those videos on our like
I remember
videos.
Those days.
Everything looks up pixelated and shit. It's like 240p. Like that's what we have on there. But
yeah, now they're more involved in social media.
For sure.
They go live and all that whole thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes like the older folks, once they get on to like, so they fucking overdo it. Like that's all they ever do now is like, we're gonna go live right now. And I'm like, we're at a quinceañera with 4 of us. We want to go live for what, dude? It's embarrassing.
We know a couple people actually. That's what they do. They get to the gig and they start going live, and I'm like, and they start like they'll be fucking around for like 2, 3, 5 minutes. I'm like, dude, start this song, bro. If you're live, like you should be doing something. I mean, I want to see like your chin from down here, like while you're playing. You know, like I'm trying to see y'all play, but even then, like, they do overdo it. It's mostly Facebook.
Shit.
They don't. They're like Snapchat.
Old people on Facebook is annoying, dude.
Yeah, they're still catching up.
Jesus.
There's 1 or 2 that do have Snap. Like
they have Snap.
Yeah.
They have WhatsApp, bro. They have WhatsApp.
Like they don't post anything. The only know I know about them is when I see my views. It's like mariachi Jalisciense. I'm like, why are you not posting, dude? Like, what's the whole point of that?
I'm like, what are you doing looking at my snaps? Aren't you at the gig, bro? Like, I'm like, grow up.
So you guys have been playing talon for how long? Because I think you guys are a little younger than me.
I mean, I'm 20. I'm 25, going on 26 this year.
Oh fuck yeah!
He's 23. 23.
Damn.
Next year.
Yeah, he turns 24 next year in February.
Yeah.
February.
Damn, bro.
I'm the youngest one in my group.
I'm 10 years older than you. That's crazy.
I mean, it doesn't feel like it though. You know what I mean? Like
At a certain point, you're just like everyone's just kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
unless you had like a big white beard, you don't really notice it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, it's cool how you see younger people coming up, like even people that you were like teaching. Like you guys interviewed Tony the other day, and I had seen one of our guys. Shout out to Ali. I still feel bad. I used to make fun of him as a little kid, and I saw him playing with Tony, and then he mentioned him on the podcast that next day.
Oh,
and I was like, yeah, that kid. He's out in LA right now, and he was one of our students. Like he was one of our chongos, and he's a really passionate kid. Like one of those like that hasn't been demystified by playing talon for like fucking 10 years and shit. You know what I mean? It's like
he hasn't had his like soul broken yet.
Yeah, he hasn't had his heart just
crushed.
Oh fuck! Why am I in this backyard? I used to be on stage playing when I was in high school. And so that was cool. But like you see him, like he's now like us.
Yeah,
he's not a kid anymore. He's like he's a working musician now.
Yeah, he's an adult.
He's an adult. I still call him a little shit.
Yeah. I think in general you always see him like that because I still like me and Victor, like we've been playing together for a while now, but like every time I see him I still see him as like that one little shy kid we met in high school. And we still have that dynamic. Sometimes I'm like, Che Victor, you know, like I'm just used to that, you know.
Nice.
And so like with Tony it was cool because like he's still like it's funny because when I asked him I was like, hey, like do you want to can you be on the podcast? Like I met him multiple times. But he said it himself. He's like, I'm not good with names, but I'm good with faces.
Keeping up.
Yeah, like and I'm the same. Oh my bad. I'm the same way. Like if I met you before, I know your face, might not know your name.
Yeah.
But he recognized not so much you, but me, and he was like, he remembered like all the times we went to nationals and we played and stuff like that, and he was all like, yeah, man, I'll do the podcast if you want to. And we ended up doing it. I think it was cool. It was fun.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those examples. Like he's a legend.
Yeah,
but like the most humble, down the earth dude and chill.
And that's what I mean when you said like most of those guys, if you talk to them, they won't be an asshole. You know what I mean? No. Because a lot. I think someone else told me was like, I didn't even know Tony was funny, and I was like, yeah, dude. You won't see that side unless you actually talk to them outside of like what they are on stage or like in a class actually teaching. Like you get them like
a level of being professional, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And then you're like, you're surrounded by a bunch of these other people that you don't really know, right? So you have a hard time being yourself, like, because then you're always a little scared that you might give a little too much away. Yeah. And then maybe someone might, because it's weird, because I remember I felt like that when I was teaching one year, and we were at Las Cruces. It was my first year teaching there. And I felt like that. I'm no one special, dude. Like, and then I have all these kids coming up to me like, how do you do this? How do you do that? I'm like, oh fuck. All right. Well, here's how you do this. Here's how you do that. Here's how you can do this. And then you have like this hotshot kids that like want to test you.
Like the kids that are like, oh, I learned how to do up strikes and now I'm really good.
Yeah, a little bit. Like they want to see some, like if you have the chops, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. What do you want to do? And they're like, well, show us like a cool exercise or something. Yeah. And so then I'm just like, okay, well, here's a cool exercise. And then they start doing it. And then you start adding more to it. And then they find a point where they fumble a little bit and then it gets a little weird. Yeah. And you're like, oh, fuck. All right. I need to kind of pull it back. So you get this weird until you have a rapport. Yeah. You know, until you get to know people. And so most of those guys are kind of like that because I think the music in general, and then even the mariachi world, they can kind of get like a little political sometimes. Like I never did competitions, so was that really big with you guys? Like competing against, because like back in our day, competition was I'm the guitar player for Chongos, he's a guitar player for Pueblo, she's a guitar player for Choya, and we're all like, okay, well, who makes the least mistakes when they're on stage? And whoever that person is, they're the best. You know, and then still it was like, you know what? I don't care if I made more mistakes than you. Fuck you. I'm still good. You know, it was like personal, right? But we'd all still be friends. But we never like competed against another school and like won a trophy or anything. It was just like who fucked up less on stage. Yeah, I see. And that's really who's the best mariachi, right? But like you guys started out in high school doing competition. Like what was that like? Like how does that whole thing feel? Like being raised in that, man.
I always hated it, to be honest.
You know, like like I think both of us, well, we both competed pretty much every year of high school. But it's funny because when we started, our high school was like not good, and it was mostly because the program was still small. You know, the people that were coming in, they were like, not to say they weren't interested in mariachi, but they weren't like passionate about it. So they were just coming in and doing the what they did or whatever, but they weren't good. You know. Right. So it was really like when I became a freshman, we started like branching out, and then you came in like 2 years later, 1 year, 2 years later. We're like 2 years young. Okay, so then he came in 2 years after. By that point, we were already like a good, high school group. So after that, like we started competing more and more. Texas in general, everything was becoming bigger. More schools were being added. New like rules, new competitions. All of those were coming up. Now it's UIL. Like I don't know if you know what UIL is. It's like it's like the state. Yeah. It's like a state competition. Like before, it was for MASBA, something like that. But it was like a mariachi run coalition, right, or whatever. Okay. But now UIL is like the same as UIL is like band, orchestra, like those kids that go to state or whatever. Yeah, that's here in Texas.
So they have a portion for mariachi.
Now they added mariachi to that. Before it was like state, band, orchestra. Mariachi was kind of its own thing, and now like if you look at it now it's like a UIL recognized like institution. So now like kids compete for that UIL recognition. So it's up there with band, orchestra.
Do they do scholarships too and that kind of thing?
I don't know about that because we weren't there for that. Yeah. They do? Maybe.
Now they do because they have a degree from mariachi now.
Yeah, now you can get a degree in mariachi. You can get I know my college that I went to, they offer a mariachi minor, like straight up mariachi minor.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like it's becoming like an integral part of the state now. Like it's implanted here now.
That's cool.
And it's funny because it started up kind of like when we were there. Like it was already there, but every year it was progressing and progressing.
I think we didn't have arrangements yet because now when you compete, you pay someone to make an arrangement.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. Kind of hear like a cool song from like I think I don't know, Lucha Villa or something.
Yeah,
like that, and then you're like, okay, it sounds kind of like complex enough.
Yeah,
to show off.
Because when we started, we were just kind of like you said, we get a song, that's the one we perfected, or like 1 or 3 songs, whatever the time limit was, or whatever, right? And you come up with those songs, and those were your songs, but they weren't special. Like you literally like. It's the arrangement you find on Spotify of Lucha Villa, Mariachi Vargas, whatever, It's
a good starting point.
Yeah.
It's a good place to build a foundation.
Every year started getting more competitive. So after that, you start getting like kids or like full-on schools that have their own like tema. They have their own like potpourri specifically for them. They start paying people to put a potpourri, write out a whole potpourri, included solos that are all original.
Yeah, very ambitious. They got like a strategy to it because like, we're gonna start with like a poppy song, and the second song's gonna be like a bolero, so we can perform.
It's all about how you perform the song.
And then the last song is another banger. Something to show off. So they had like a whole strategy behind it.
Yeah,
shit.
And it was like a 15-minute time limit, and in those 15 minutes, you got to put like the biggest show on. And it wasn't complete until you had your vihuela solo, guitar solo, violin solo. Like it was all that, and it's still like that today, which isn't bad. We're not saying that because it's a good thing. These kids that are coming out now, they're
sharp,
fucking
better than we ever were.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, what the fuck are they putting in your water, bro? Like, what the fuck are they doing down there in the valley or wherever?
I noticed that in Tucson a year ago. Like, the Tucson conference that they have over there.
Which one?
It's like the Tucson International Mariachi Conference.
Is that the one in Las Cruces?
No, that's in Arizona. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Las Cruces. So there's the Las Cruces, and then there's Albuquerque.
Right, that's the one I know too.
And then there's the Tucson conference down in AZ.
Right. Now I know.
And Aslan from Texas, Ivan's group, they came out and their college level, they've always been pretty good.
Yeah, they're from down there in the valley,
like McAllen area. So
Aslan.
Oh, the UTRGV?
Yeah, Archie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I always remember meeting some of those guys that were in college back in the day, because then there was Los Ayeros that were right alongside them, and they were always booking shows. So we're always hanging out, and then I haven't done a whole lot, but I was helping a friend teach a group in Phoenix, a youth group, and so we took them to the Tucson conference for the first time. Because Phoenix and Arizona is very similar to like how I think maybe it's here, where there's a ton of work, but there isn't like a big show group that like when fucking someone comes in like, okay, you're gonna be the backup mariachi for like Pepe or someone like that.
Oh, right? I see what you're saying.
Like a big like a 12-piece group.
There are some here.
Yeah, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, we have like 2 or 3 though.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
They're in Dallas though. Fort Worth.
Okay.
Well, actually, Fort Worth has they used to be Oro. Alteño, are they still around?
Yeah, but they're kind of working more than anything.
Yeah, because there were groups here in Fort Worth too that were like that.
Like
they were like
show,
the big that they were more known for like they like that was the group that had their shit together. Like they had the big group. They had like their own arrangements or certain way to play their shit.
Yeah.
And then Dallas has maybe like 2 or 3 of them even now. So like whenever there is like an artist that comes down, like recently Cristian Nodal had that one mariachi back him up.
This is Mexico.
That one guitarra player that we played with at Seafood Shack. The one you were there.
Oh, Michoacán?
Michoacán.
Oh, yeah,
Michoacán.
Yeah.
Mariachi Michoacán backed up Cristian Nodal. That was the group in Dallas.
So are those guys like native Texans or they come from Mexico or like what's their deal?
Most of them come from Mexico.
Yeah, most of them come from Mexico.
Yeah.
They're older dudes, yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're implementing more like young dudes like us, like some of them that actually went to our high school.
Nice.
But usually back then it was all dudes, they're all older. A lot of them came, from south of the border. And they actually played with like other groups that are like well known or whatever.
Yeah.
Down there,
recording and stage artists, they call you up and shit like that, and you're ready to go. But the kids, man, like they're giving the adults a run for their money.
Yeah.
Because the kids did a competition and like the kids played. Mariachi America was the feature, and the only thing is that the guys from Aslan, they fucking outshowed America like 10 times over, dude. Yeah. Like they played first and then America came on stage, and I'm sitting there like I hadn't seen Mariachi America for like almost a decade.
Yeah,
like they hadn't been around. I was so excited.
Yeah,
and I saw them play, and they were not even really playing their bangers, dude.
Yeah, they were just kind of playing.
They're like whatever. They were playing some of the arrangements that were there at the conference.
Oh, okay.
And they weren't doing that great a job at it. And I'm just like, where the fuck is Popurrí de Sones? Where's the Rancheras Popurrí? Where's, all these badass
like the things you're used to kind of
like
stuff?
on the disc, right? Because they could have played all that stuff and they would have killed it in Tucson. But they just weren't doing it.
Yeah.
But the guys from Texas, I was like, dude, that's a college group.
Do you know what year this was?
Last year.
Oh, last year?
Yeah, just last year.
Who was in the group last year? I don't know who was. I haven't kept up with them, but yeah, I mean they sound good, man. They're
really, really on point.
I mean, they recorded CDs and everything too. Like they had a special group of people there, and all the ones that are there. I mean, even Ivan played with them, right? Ivan, I don't know if you know Ivan Velasco.
I don't know him personally, but I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he went out to play with them, and he's like world renowned harp player.
He's their director right now.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's one of their musical directors.
Oh. So
I know that. Like, they're about, 8 hours away from Dallas-Fort Worth area, like McAllen area, in the valley. I can't believe how fucking big Texas is, man. We went from
huge, man.
El Paso to here was 9 hours.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, this is bullshit, dude. I'm driving all day, and we're still halfway there.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing.
I was like, Jesus.
Until, like, San Antonio.
Yeah, like, once you get out of the city, it's
Pura
sierra, way, like, fucking sand. And we start seeing cactuses, fucking. Now you start seeing like the mountains in Mexico, in Texas.
Yeah.
And but once you get out of the city, it gets very country.
Yeah, like it was so bad, I don't even really remember the drive.
Yeah.
I just remember it was long.
Yeah.
I think I just blocked it all out of my memory.
Yeah, man.
As soon as we hit Arlington, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just done. Wherever the fuck we're at right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a hotel room. I don't care. I'm not driving anymore.
Yeah. No, yeah. Texas is huge, but I think we're kind of used to it because I mean we've lived here for a very long time, so we're just kind of used to it or whatever. So when we go to another state, like I went to Arkansas the other day and it's only a 4-hour drive, and that's literally like a drive to Houston.
Yeah,
but I was in another state, you know. What I mean?
You can drive to Oklahoma sooner than you can get to El Paso.
Yeah, oh for sure. Yeah, I mean Oklahoma's like right here.
Yeah,
but if you go south, like here to the valley, you're gonna drive all fucking day,
forever, dude.
Yeah,
it better be worth it, man.
Yeah, you better be going for something like getting late or something because it's not worth the drive.
Piece of ass at the end of this ride, dude.
Because it's not worth the drive unless there's something over there for you.
But you went to, I heard in your podcast, you went to college down there, right?
Well, not in the valley. I went to Texas State. which is in San Marcos. It's right under Austin, and it's right before San Antonio. So it's literally right in the middle.
Okay, so it's about what, 4-ish hours?
From here, if you're lucky, yeah, it's really 3.5. But if there's traffic or whatever, you'll get there in 4 hours. But,
so you had the same experience of playing mariachi and going to school and all that kind of dynamic and shit.
Yeah.
Like, how did that fare? I've heard you talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I heard you make fun of Victor just because I'm like, dude, why are you always picking on your boy, dude? Jesus.
Victor's the worst. Nah, but he's good. We talked about this. Like he went to college and for a little bit in McAllen also at RGV as well, and he had a similar experience like playing there, and then I had the experience of playing in Austin. In that area is like Central Texas, like still South but Central Texas ish. So I played in Austin and I played in San Antonio while going to school.
Nice.
So which was cool for me because like. My plan was to go down there because I wanted to go down there to that school, but the other part of my head was like go to UNT because it's here in Denton, so it's only like 45 minutes from here. So like I was like, well, if I stay in Denton, I could still play with the group we're playing in now. Yeah, I won't have to worry about money. Shit, I'll be playing every weekend, still going to school. Like, but like I wanted that experience of like getting out and like playing in. I wanted to play in the Texas State group, which is the group there at college. So I played there those 2 years, but everything between that, like I was working, which I liked because that's how I made money. So like I didn't have to work like
it's better than busting tables, man.
Yeah, like I've said this before, like I've never had an actual job other than mariachi. Well, other than my job now, like after I graduated. Right. But like I didn't have a job before that. It was all mariachi. Like my whole life was literally working mariachi to pay for everything that I have. So I mean, it's helped me a lot, and it's chill. It's chill because then. I didn't have to work a job or whatever. I didn't have to have like a schedule or anything like that. You know,
especially when you're young, like when you're 19, 20, and you're like, well, I'm done with class. I'm going to go get ready for gigs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you kind of make your own time. Like if
all your friends are like, I got to go fucking wait tables. And I got to go sell shoes. And
I'm working at 8 hours Starbucks. I'm like, oh, fuck that, bro.
That sucks. I'm going to go work 2 hours and make more than you.
Yeah, exactly. So it was better for me. Like I was like, man, I'd rather just do this shit and not have to worry about it or whatever. But it was a fun time. I mean, I would do it again. I really would do it again.
It took years off my life. I did the same. You probably saw our common rivalry.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, I never gave a fuck. Like
I didn't either, dude. But like, there's mariachis in Tucson that I have 2 friends that are armonia players that are Odify.
Oh, really?
In Tucson at the U of A, and one was my vihuela player from Chongos in high school.
Right.
So we both go to the U of A, and he immediately starts rushing for Odify.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, that's nice. Okay, cool. Now, no one knew that I was pledging Sigma Lambda Beta because it
was secret.
Secret. We have a secret process.
Yeah.
And so, like, no one knows. And so I'm just like, man, fuck fraternities. This is a bunch of whack shit. I'm not doing that. And meanwhile, you know.
Yeah, I had that happen to me a couple of times where everybody's like, yeah, you buy your friends. And I'm just sitting there in the room like, yeah, because I was secret too. So I was just like, when they were talking shit, I'd be like, yeah, bro, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
you know,
it sucks.
Just take a drink and...
I'm going to remember this shit when I finish my process.
Yeah. It was funny because, I mean, when I was pledging, it was fun. But I did take time off of mariachi since all that whole process took so much time.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't even play, I think, that whole semester. I was just focused on that or whatever. But.
I was dying because I did still play in the group because technically we played mass on Sundays in Cuco's group. Shit. And so it was Mariachi Arencia, shout out if you're listening. Mm-hmm. And they were a really nice group. They were a full set group. You know, Cuco del Cid was an old violin and singer and he played everything. Mm-hmm. But he was one of the guys that played in like Mariachi Chapala back in the day. Back in the day, dude. And he played with Camperos like in the 70s. Like before you even
Vintage.
See... Yeah, like his face was on the wall at La Fonda.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's got a mic in his hand like
singing
hard. Like that, yeah. And so I couldn't say anything, but technically, because we played mass every Sunday for free, that counted as my service hours when I was pledging. So they're like, you can count those as your community service hours if you're doing it for free. Yeah. I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that because I don't want to fucking do more service. Dude.
Yeah,
I have no more time for this shit.
Any more that I have to.
So that was fun. But yeah, I remember when I crossed, it was always that thing where it's like there were 2 other fraternity brothers that were mariachi too. And one was our brother Steve-O, a violin player, badass violin player. and the other was my educator, Alex. He's the bass player for Cobre right now.
Oh, okay.
He's the short little fucker that's playing bass for them.
Yeah.
So that whole thing happened, and then on the other side, like Odify had my friend Dan. So it was really weird time.
Yeah.
And then the Lambdas had another dude that was playing out of another high school, and so I don't know, did that kind of shit happen to you? Where like they knew you were mariachi, so they're always making fun of you for it, and like, why don't you sing something, bitch, and play this, get your guitar out.
It was more like afterwards, like during the process, like I wasn't really playing, so
Yeah.
But afterwards, like it was fun. Okay, well I guess back up a little bit. The guy that told me to get in is a guy named Robert, who was already in Odify. And that motherfucker plays like every instrument.
Oh, nice.
Like every fucking instrument. And he's good at everything. Fucking hate him. He's just naturally talented and shit.
Got perfect pitch,
he's got perfect. He has perfect pitch. He's like, and then you're on tune, and he's like, bro, when you get a chance, like tune that A. And I'm like, fuck you, Robert. Like, fucking hate you. Like, plays bass. He plays harp. I'm like, just plays any girl's heart. Like he's just good. He's good at that kind of shit.
There's a lot of those studs out there.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Well, something to admire, I guess.
Yeah, and then he was like, hey man, you should join my frat. And I was always like, I always had a negative notion. I mean, and most people do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they see him. One. Yeah, you just kind of think like, nah, like I don't want to do that shit. That's not me or whatever the fuck. But I just kind of felt like good with them once I met them, and I was like, man, you know what? Fuck it. I wasn't playing mariachi anymore at the school, so I was like, man, fuck it, I'll do it. So when I did, like it was cool. I didn't play any mariachi that whole semester, but afterwards, I was kind of known as the guy that would like, hey, bro, we're gonna have like, there's gonna be this party, like if you want to come out, or hey, we're gonna do this after whatever. And I was always the guy that was like, oh, I got a gig, bro.
Yeah.
So now they just fucking like they rip on me. And I was like, no, Sammy's not gonna come because he has a gig. I was like, fuck you, I probably do, but
they get used to you showing up in your charro and shit.
Yeah, they're just like, motherfucker, like I'm not even gonna invite you because you're gonna say you have a gig, and I'm like, you don't even know that. All right, it's August 23rd. Oh yeah, I do got a gig. My bad.
I'll show up right after, and I'd be in my traje and everything.
I'd always say that shit. I'd be like, hey, I might come through. We'll see. And I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Just play 4 hours, man. I got yelled at.
I'm like, fuck y'all. Like, I'm gonna go home rich. I'll just go home and knock the fuck out. Fuck you guys. You guys get shit faced. I'm cool.
One other thing that we do share in common with you guys is that you guys have Whataburger out here. I call it Whataburger. Like water,
like Whataburger?
Like Whataburger, because you need water after you eat it, man. You're just like, oh.
Yeah, dude.
There's nothing more painful, speaking of college, that going to a Whataburger at fucking 4 o'clock in the morning, drunk, and then watching the sun come up from that fucking...
I never went that hard. I think as soon as I finished eating it, like I was out,
Yeah, we would sit in there, like it was like 4 o'clock, 4:30, and we're too drunk to go through the drive-thru, right? Because we would just end up sitting there all fucking night.
Yeah.
So we would ask one of the girls to drive us out there, and I just remember sitting in the Whataburger like my sophomore year. I was already a year in. I pledged my freshman year, which was really fucking weird.
Dang, I did it my junior year. I was already late in the game.
Dang.
So I pledged with freshmen, so I was a little bit older.
I was a first semester pledge. I was the second one in the chapter's entire history.
Oh, really?
Because they didn't ever let first semester guys go, because it can fuck your whole career up.
Yeah, if you fuck up early in college,
you're over.
Academic probation, and then next thing you know, like you're kicked out. But at least you got in the frat.
Yeah, like I pledged. I'm good.
You're like at home, like with no money. Like, hey, at least I'm frat.
At least I got my letters.
I got my letters.
I'll always have my letters.
You could be the guy that comes in like, hey, he's that guy that dropped out of school. Hey, but he's a brother. Right.
He's always a brother. I know that was a nice thing, because we did have brothers that dropped out like later.
Yeah, later on.
They got to their junior year and they realized that, oh fuck, instead of doing what I was supposed to do my sophomore year, now I'm reliving a sophomore year in my junior year.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys don't make it. I mean, just regular college people won't make it past their junior year if they're not ready for it.
Right.
I don't know. By some grace of God, I made it. Thank God.
Yeah.
I'd be living in a shoebox right now. But for playing mariachi, like, what do you guys think is, like, is it just gonna be like playing talon? Are there people here in Texas that are seeing all the success that, because we're all older now.
Right.
Like, it's no longer like we're the young ones and we're looking up to the guys in Cobre, looking up to the guys in Camperos. Like, we still admire them.
Yeah.
But, like, what's up here in Texas? I mean, who's trying to do what? And is there anything besides just, the chamba out here? I mean, the chamba's good, it's nice to have extra cash.
Yeah.
But, like, what drives you guys playing wise?
You want to answer first?
There you go.
Dude, you gotta say something. God damn it.
That's his trademark, just to be the strong silent type.
He always does that shit. He just like says a little funny comment. I'm like, fuck you.
He's just like, Pornhub.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, Pornhub, real quick. I think there's not much that drives us as much as like it's more like, what do we have next week? What do we have this week? You know, for me, it was always like, mariachi was always like a hobby, but it's also like my passion. So like, it's to the point where like I don't want to stop until I'm gonna want to stop. You know, so like the day that I get bored of it and I just don't want to do it anymore, I'm gonna stop. But I think at some point in my life I was like, oh, you know, maybe I want to get into these like big groups. Yeah. Maybe one day I'll go out to LA and make it or whatever. But I just kind of had this thought where I started looking more like realistically. Not to say like I'm gonna crush so many kids' soul right now, but like I already knew there's only a certain point that I can get this good at my instrument, right? And I was like, well, where can I go with this? I can either go to LA, I could go to. I'm not gonna live in Mexico, you know, so I'm not gonna go to Vargas. I'm not gonna go to Nuevo, you know. So I just got to the point where like I'm this good. I'm comfortable with how good I am right now. I'm comfortable knowing that I'm going to be playing, you know, by weekend at people's parties. Because at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. Like, I want to play. I want to make my money and go home to my wife and our life there, you know.
And it's a joy to play at stuff like
that.
Yeah, like being at people's parties and kind of enriching their whole atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like, for a while, I kind of had a shitty attitude about it because I was like, you know, I wish I could go and get a shot to do that. And, you know, I used to think I was good enough, right? And then it's like, after a while, it's like, you know what, man? It's like, you're playing in people's houses. Like, you're like, they saved up money the entire year for this party just to afford you guys. Yeah. And you have a shitty attitude. Yeah. Like, no, you have to be a professional. You're a working musician. Yeah. And you have to be grateful and pull out a badass set for these people and then go to the next one and do the next one and keep your craft. And it's like, man, that took me years to figure out. Yeah.
It's because, like I said, like at a certain point, you're just like, well, this is as good as I'm going to get. I mean, I can probably progress or whatever, but I'm comfortable knowing that I'm going to go to the gig. I'm going to do my best there. If the people don't like it, that's up to them, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we talked about this before, but, like, we get there at a gig. If the people aren't feeling it, I mean, that's on them. They're the ones that hired us. We're here. We're putting on our show. If they don't like it.
It's the same everywhere, bro.
You know?
Same clients everywhere. They're just like, you know, no sabes esa canción que compuso mi tío. And
and it's like,
no, I don't know your tío's fucking song.
I don't know his fucking song, you know? So, for me, like, what's just driving me is, like, knowing that I get to go, like, the people that I play with, I consider them my friends. They were there when I got married. They were there when, you know, I did this, I did that. So, for me, it's like, I'm going there to hang out with them. I know that I'm going to have a chill time when I'm there. So it's driving me to know that we're going to be able to play those gigs. At the end of the day, I'm getting paid. At the end of the day, I'm going home. Yeah. Like, so for me, it's more like that's really what it is. For me, it's still a continued hobby and something that where I even to this day, like at the gigs, we still have fun. Yeah, that's why I told them let's start a podcast where we just talk about all the stupid shit we do at the gigs.
Crazy shit at gigs.
Yeah, because I mean every
come
week
across some crazy shit playing gigs. Man.
Yeah, so every week something happens. Like just something in general is going to happen. You know, so. I think it'd be cool to talk about that because everybody and the way we've always been taught was like mariachi is this beautiful music that we're here to play and learn from and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we all do the same thing. What do? We play at quinceañeras, we play at bodas. So like, let's talk about it, but like in a real way. I'm not gonna tell you like how to play your instrument, but I'll tell you what the fuck we did this weekend. Right. What this stupid shit that this lady did or whatever.
The pendejadas that we got into, the drunk act.
Yeah,
you know, it's so.
Like, I think it's a fun way to talk about mariachi in a way that hasn't been done before. You know, like a lot of people want to say like, no, you got to respect it. I'm like, dude, not everything has to be respected all the time.
It has to be serious all the time.
Yeah, like not everything is like that. Like everything in this life can be made fun of. Like that's what a parody is.
Just listen to a mariachi armonia section during breaks, dude. We talk the maddest shit while we're in the middle of songs.
Yeah, I had this thought when we were playing yesterday because we kept fucking around with our boss. Like at that last gig, we were like, "Oh, this one's gonna be a shitty gig because people were kind of boring." But I was thinking like. Whoever's sitting down, do they not notice what we're doing in the back? Because, you know, they're watching the guy that's going up there to sing and shit, right? But we're the ones in the back like, hey, bro. You know, we're like, hey, dude, what the fuck? And then we're just, like, moving around and shit back there. So I was just thinking, like, I wonder what they're thinking. Like, what the fuck are those guys doing in the back? It's just us fucking around, like saying
it's the best times.
Yeah, I mean,
I miss that a little bit because, like, I haven't played a gig since March.
Oh shit!
Like, I've seriously not done one. Like, I played like 8 hours the weekend before the shutdown.
Right.
Then I went out to LA, and then I came back as shit was closing down. Mm-hmm. And that was it.
Yeah.
And now I'm here. It's like,
and it's just like,
and I'm still just in a holding pattern. I'm just like, all right, well, I don't really know if I want to go out there right now.
Yeah.
And I haven't played shit in like 4 months. Man, I don't even know if I could play right now.
Yeah.
It'd probably suck. Probably practice.
Yeah. It's funny because me and our boss had this like running thing. Have you ever seen the movie You Got Served?
Yes, I have.
It's like a dance movie.
Yeah.
There's a quote in that movie. Anytime, like now we're starting to practice as a group. Like now he calls practices, but before it was just like, hey, we're gonna play this song this weekend. We're like, all right, cool, bet. We just look it up,
have it down,
and we'll just the practice is literally when we play it at the gig. You know?
Oh my god!
But like now, it's because back then that was the thing. So we had a quote. We'd always sound like, bro, practice. I was like, in the movie, it's like practice. We don't practice. We just do it.
We just do
and
it.
That's us. We're just like, bro, we don't practice. We just do it.
But Victor, you play harp though, right?
I try to.
So you play bass mostly. Was that like your main instrument, or was the harp your main?
Is guitar.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a guitar player.
Yeah.
So classical guitar, and then our teacher was also like he starts us out with classical, but towards the end of the semester, he just had a strum and like what mariachi is.
Yeah, we all start that way. We start as classical guitar players. That's what the teacher in 6th grade like taught us, classical guitar.
Damn.
We went to the middle school.
So who was your guys' teacher out here? Like
his name was he's not teaching anymore, but his name was William Gradante. He was his name was Dr. G. Everybody knew him as Dr. G.
Oh.
And he kind of started a lot of the stuff here in Texas that we know now. I know he started the mariachi here in Northside and stuff like where we went to.
Yeah, he pushed a lot. Like he always gave like this really long, not long, but like slideshows of like mariachi history and all that. He would do them like I think he told me something would take the state.
Yeah, he was very into mariachi history. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he was like, you don't appreciate it until you're older. Yeah. So like looking back, we were a bunch of little turds, you know. So
like, why am I looking at slides?
Yeah, I'm like, who the fuck are these old dudes? Like, who's this old lady? Like, we didn't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
So
who's Who's looking?
Yeah, we didn't. He would lead. He had whole slideshows about their whole life. Like he really is one of the only. Because I know people pay him to go teach mariachi, like as a mariachi historian. Like he has a record of all this shit, dude. Like encyclopedias that he put together. Like he actually went to like Jose Alfredo's grave, like where he lived. Like he took pictures of all of it. You can see him like in the background, like when he was younger. Like he's been about it, you know.
Wow.
So
what's his main instrument, or is he a composer guy? Or?
It's funny because he's Italian, right?
He's Italian.
He's not even a Mexican.
And he loves mariachi music.
Dude.
See, that's what I'm talking about, like diversity.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
Like I'm a big Mexican with a white fucking name, and I play mariachi. Yeah. It's like it's the same type.
Anybody
of shit,
can do it, man. So like when we were younger, we didn't appreciate him till we were older. So a lot of people too, like I've heard now that I'm like older and we talk about Dr. G, they were always like, he was a fucking asshole, and I'm like, he kind of was, but like it's because you were a kid then,
right?
So looking back,
he has to be strict. He's music.
Yeah, looking back, you're kind of like, well, what kind of was a little shithead back then, you know? I remember like when he was teaching us classical guitar. He didn't want us strumming, you know, because he wanted us to focus on our songs, learn for classical.
Yeah, learn how to play with your hands.
Yeah, and then so when he heard chords, he would get pissed about it. So he'd be like, "Why the fuck?" He didn't say "fuck," right?
What the fuck?
Yeah, but he was like, "Why do I hear chords?" And we're, you know, as kids, we're like, I freaking hate that guy, you know.
He would roast you, dude.
Yeah, he would roast you.
He would make you feel like he would make like a little joke about you, like, "Oh, you're playing that because something," and you like the other kids would laugh at you, and you're like, "All right, I'm gonna do my shit." You know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop doing this now.
Yeah, I need to stop doing this.
Every time I try to look cool, he makes me look like I'm stupid.
Yeah, and you can't even say anything because he's the teacher, you know. So, but yeah, he really was a mariachi historian. So he taught us all that shit before, like, and I really appreciate it because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't know that history. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of kids now, I don't know what they're being taught in school and stuff like that.
A lot of them don't have the first clue.
A lot of them don't know who came before them, so they don't know who Pato is. They don't know who this Vihuela player is. Dude, I've come across them. I would in San Marcos, I did like a small workshop with Vihuela players and stuff like that. So then I'd be like, so Pato, I'd throw his name in there, like when I'm explaining something, so like Pato would do this when he plays and stuff like that.
Who's
I'm
Pato?
like Pato, and they're like, who's that?
Who's that guy?
And there I'm like, Mariachi Vargas, Vihuela players, they were like 51 years, and they're like,
yeah, no, I don't know.
and like I really appreciated that because like, dude, I learned that with my teacher like in middle school, and so now you appreciate it. Like we actually we've talked about this, like we want to get him on the podcast because like.
You think he's down?
I hope so. I think he would.
That'd be badass.
Because it's funny because after we not graduated, we went to high school. We get out of middle school. He would come through to the high school like to talk to us every once in a while and stuff like that. And he's so much more chill than because like you're not his student anymore. So he would like cuss. He's like, yeah, you guys are doing good and this and that. And he was just a chill guy. And I'm like, damn, like. I was such a little turd back then.
He's a cool person, and I was such a little asshole.
Yeah, and I was over here like, I hate this guy, and that's why I understand when like people that I talk to are like, no, that guy was an asshole, and like, yeah, but and then usually those people didn't end up being a mariachi, like they got out of it,
being working musicians.
Yeah, they ended up doing other stuff. It was just an elective to them, so they're the ones that think he's an asshole. But us that kept going, we're kind of like looking back, like, man, he was very smart.
It's one of those pivotal influences on your life that kind of changed everything, right?
We've said it before. We're like, dude, like if it wasn't Dr. G, we probably would have had a mariachi teacher in middle school or whatever. But if it wasn't for him specifically, we wouldn't be doing this, dude. Like we would be doing something else. We would have gotten into fucking woodworking or something. Like we would not be doing mariachi. Like, would have been doing some other shit.
It's a big phenomenon, like in the U.S., because I think I've heard a lot of people, like even like guys from Vargas, acknowledge that like mariachi music is not really for or in Mexico anymore. It's here.
Yeah,
it's in the United. Like the future of mariachi is here.
No, you see it all the time, man. Like on videos of like when they start showing those competitions, like Texas kids or wherever, whatever, and they're like playing all these notes, like chingon, just effortlessly. I can't talk, bro. They're playing it.
Get used to it. It's on the podcast. You get tongue tied because you know the word. Your brain stinks it faster than your mouth can shovel it out.
No, I'm not good with my mouth, bro. That's where you see a porn coming.
That's usually where you come from.
You're like, ooh, No, but you see those kids like doing all that stuff, and you're like, man, like they're so talented. And you'll see like those comments like on YouTube. They'll be like, man, esos niños de Texas, like ya le ganan a los aquí de México, and like tocan mejor, they have that education in them, like that, like they can break it down, over there. It might not be as hands on, like learning the music, learning the scales and all that stuff. Who knows, But I know, like for sure, like people are seeing that the kids here are just like fucking superhuman or some shit.
And there's a little bit of give and take because then you see kids that don't speak the language.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw this when I was in high school. You have girls and guys that are singing like Nunca Jamás with like smiles on their face and shit. And you're like, do you not look up what those words are? Like these are fucked up songs, man.
And it comes down to what he said. Like we didn't like competitions for that reason. We kind of talked about it on the pod, but it was more like when competition. What we didn't like about competitions is that sometimes it felt like, well, it's the judge's fault kind of too, because they prioritize you playing it, but also like feeling the music, and there's a difference between like feeling the music and then like acting on it.
Yeah.
So like if you're up there, like you said, you're like singing Nunca Jamás, and you're singing it with a smile on your face. Like, you don't know what you're singing, bro.
All bright and
I'm like you're over there like faking that emotion. I'm like, bro, like listen to what you're saying.
Wrong emotion, bro.
Yeah, it's the wrong emotion. Like you need to process what you're actually talking about. Like even if you just translate that page, like just look at it and you're like, oh shit, this is kind of fucked up.
Look at what the words are. It's like it's awful. And you see old timers like start laughing in the audience when kids do that shit, and they're like, why are they singing it like that? It looks ridiculous.
It just goes back to that. Like we didn't like competitions because it felt forced sometimes. And if you really, I've said this, like if you really love the music and you're playing it with like your genuine heart, like you can see it in you. Like you're not there like faking it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of the competitions nowadays, it's good that they know all the music and they're playing chingon, but I just want it to be more real. Like now I feel like it's like I said, it's a formula. Now they know the formula, so they're like, okay, now we just gotta come in strong, come in with the bolero, just kind of slow down or whatever, and then hit them with the solos, and it's got to be intense the whole time, and then that's like the winning formula. They're like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, but you can't take him to go work. Like as a
Yeah.
bass player, how fucking pissed do you get when you like have someone who doesn't know what he's doing and you're having to like oh man, okay, I'm trying to show you the chords while I'm doing this too, and it's just like, dude, like how often do you guys come across that up here? Like you have a lot of kids coming to try and do work, and or is it just a steady flow of people that are for the most part used to playing talon, used to playing a ton of rap, and do it semi well, right?
Yeah, so like the kids that come out of here, like I said, there's a lot of them, and a lot of them are good. But like in the group we play every song, like literally every song.
So you guys take requests no matter what?
No matter what.
Dang.
Sometimes they say a song, and we're like, "Hey, bro, do you know that song?" And he's like, "Nah, dude." I'm like, "Fuck it, let's go, let's do it." Because our bosses at the time would be like, "Yeah, we know it," and I'm like, "You know it, dog." Like,
so is your guys' boss like one of those old school like?
No, hell no.
Old school dudes, or is he from here, from Texas?
Nah, he's from Mexico too, but he's everybody's surprised when they find out he's only like 34. Like
so he's my age.
Yeah, he's young, man. He's okay. Shout out Arturo, but he's young, so he feels like he's one of us, like still young or whatever. That's how he acts anyway.
Nice,
but he's really cool about it. He's not being an asshole. Like, yeah, you can play it, and it's more like, fuck it, let's play it.
He's happy. He's encouraging.
Yeah, he's like
you'll get through it.
He's like, yeah,
I got faith in you.
He knows like how much we know, so he's like, you got it, güey. Es nomás primera, segunda, tercera, güey. And then we play it, and I'm like, no mames, güey. That's like it goes through the whole chord, like progression there. And I'm like, he's like, because I don't know, dude.
I don't know. I was just trying to encourage you guys. Yeah, just do it, man. Don't be afraid.
But he's cool about it. Like, he's not an asshole. I've never had a problem with him. That's the only reason I've worked there so long. Like, I've had bosses before that are just straight dicks, but he's not like that.
I've almost gotten into fucking fist fights with dudes that were not really that good, but they wanted to like be dick about how you're playing. Yeah, and it's like, ooh, man. Then people not paying you. Like I've had some of that. Not here,
but yeah, I've played with people before. Yeah, that I've gotten paid in the end, but it's like they're being real shady about it.
I'm about to kick your ass if I don't get paid.
I'm going straight for the nuts, and I'm not going to be gentle. I need that cash, bro.
I need that money. What do you think I'm doing out here? I'm not doing this for my fucking health, bro.
I'm not selling ass out here. I'm here for my fucking bills, bro.
Here for some money. Yeah. I got these songs. I got 20 songs. That's $20.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm here, dog. Let's go.
So what's like the planta situation out like here? Like, do you guys charge per song? Is it like, are the restaurant owners at least good business people where they don't try to like just like, don't you guys fucking hate, like, does this happen to you when you go to a place and they think that you're their fucking employee or they own you or they hasta pa acá, and they get all shitty like that?
I've never had that experience. Have you? No, because I think we've had good
people.
We've had good plantas because
oh, nice.
The two that we have right now. We haven't played at the one on Thursdays because of the whole COVID situation. Yeah, so we haven't come back. But that place is so chill. Like we get a base pay to go in. We play an hour and a half, and then after that it's all talon. So that base is for that hour and a half, and then we play talon. If they keep asking, we'll play up until like 10 p.m.
Dude, that's pretty solid set.
Yeah, and then after that, we charge 20 per song. So nice. every song that we play is $20. So and the people here have the money for some fucking reason.
Well, Texans are not. Most Texans I've come across in the last month I've been here, they're not destitute people. They got money.
Yeah, they have a lot of the times we've never really had a problem with someone not paying us. Like if they're asking, they're gonna pay.
I mean, you don't have income tax. If you already own property, you're set.
I mean, you're already seeing it's kind of cheap here, bro.
It's really fucking cheap. Yeah. And gas is cheap. Yeah. When I buy food, it's cheap. Yeah. Like when I buy other things, sales tax is cheap. Like in Phoenix, it was getting up to like 9% sales tax.
Oh, really?
For whatever the fuck you buy.
Shit.
And I'm like, God damn it! Every time I'm buying something, it's $30 fucking, man. Yeah. Out here, it's like 20, 22, 23 something for a full meal, like barbecue and shit. I'm like, oh man.
Everything's cheap here.
Sadly, I like this deal, man.
Anytime we get at it, like I go anywhere else, I'm just like, fuck, man. I want to go back to Texas.
I just came back from Cali, man. Oh, good.
Oh yeah. Every time I go to Cali, I'm like, the fuck? How do they live around here? Like,
not well.
I can't fucking do Cali, man.
Not well, dude. It's a ghost town right now.
Oh yeah.
I went to go get my guitar, and I drove through the airport through Santa Monica, and it's like The Walking Dead, dude. Like everything is boarded up.
Zoom by.
And then there's some things that are like open, and they say big signs, "We're open."
So you know,
like help us,
Yeah.
fucking zombies.
Yeah.
And all the homeless people are wandering in the streets, dude.
Shit.
Like,
Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's like The Walking Dead. Like you take the overpasses and you just see homeless people walking in the middle of the fucking freeway.
Because I mean, it's empty.
It's kind
That's
of
what
empty.
I've heard anyway.
Dude,
I haven't seen anything.
I got from International Airport to Santa Monica to Candelas and Boyle Heights in like 20 minutes.
And it's probably like 2 hours regularly.
You used to take like an hour and a half easy in the morning when I get there.
Man.
You know?
I think we were talking about this the other day. Like we've been meeting in McKinney sometimes. I don't know if you know where McKinney is here.
Yeah, that's just north. My uncle lives out there.
It's north so
Dallas.
I think from here it's like maybe an hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a freeway that takes you all the way there, you know. So like when you go to any other place, like LA, for example, like a place that's like 10 miles away, it'll take you like an hour to get there.
Yeah, it takes forever.
And we literally drive 60 miles in an hour.
In the same time.
And in the same time, then there's no traffic. Usually, sometimes there is, you know. But
Texans know
nothing like that.
Texans drive fucking fast, man.
Yeah, we try to go as fast as possible.
I can't quite deal with the tailgating. I'll be going 80 miles an hour, and some dude in a big old Ford truck is right up my ass going 100. I'm just like, bro, how fast do you want me to go, dude?
And even the cops will be like, you'll be like, oh, dude, I gotta slow down. The cops coming, you know, or whatever. And he's going fucking 90. I'm like, dude, what the fuck,
going
you know?
really fast.
Sometimes they'll pull you over for going too slow.
Yeah, dude. If you go too slow, they're like, all right, you gotta get the fuck out of here, dude. They pull your ass over.
I got a Mustang. I ain't got no problem going 120 down
right
820 highway, man.
Just don't do that in fucking River Oaks. You'll get pulled over.
Well, that's what I heard driving out here is like, don't speed between El Paso and Texas because they like to pull you over.
Well, it's because there's nothing but desert. So I imagine they're just looking for anybody that.
Damn.
They're like, there's like nothing but cactus there, so they're just probably like, we're gonna pull over whatever we see, you know.
I think for us, where they will pull you over is on 30 on Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Six Flags.
I saw a lot of cops out there.
Yeah, you gotta go 60 miles an hour there. They'll pull you over.
Okay, that's good to know.
They don't give a fuck, dude.
I have not made my way out to Dallas yet. I've just been like, we got to Arlington. My work is there, and now I'm working from home.
Yeah.
And so we've just been here the whole month.
Yeah.
And I want to go out to Dallas, but then at the same time, I'm like, there's really nothing to do. I don't think, man.
Sucks, dude.
I don't really like Dallas. Like we just kind of chill here.
Dallas for?
Yeah, like what do you want to do in Dallas?
Like, I don't know. That's the thing. I'm like, I don't think there's anything to do.
I mean, there is. I mean, I can't rag like too much on Dallas because I'm not from there, so I can't give you any suggestions.
Yeah.
But every time I go there, it's just like it's stressful. Just because freeways go everywhere. There's like, and then every time I go to Dallas, like Dallas downtown, it always feels weird. Like I can never park anywhere. I don't know. It's just not for me.
I was in downtown Fort Worth trying to get dinner last weekend.
Right.
And shit, I was getting pissed trying to find a place to park in Fort Worth.
What time?
Yeah, downtown Saturday, right after like 5 o'clock.
It's a Saturday. Yeah.
And people are still out.
Yeah, because people are out on Saturday. If you go any other day,
they're like, we don't care about no COVID. We got a mask on. We'll be all right. We'll see how this goes. We got our mask.
Yeah.
You're going to make us wear our mask?
Yeah,
right.
whatever.
Like, Jesus. All right, that works, man.
Yeah.
I like Texans.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
They're a different kind of people.
Yeah, I feel like everybody just kind of keeps to themselves and just does whatever they need to do, unless you like get someone who's just an asshole, like the guys riding you on the freeway.
Yeah.
Other than that, other than that, we're pretty chill.
I'm gonna pull over, man. I'm an AZ boy. You see the license plate? Shingao.
And then like the plantas, they're pretty chill. Like and we never had an issue. Like, even the ones now, like the one on Friday that we have is we play outside. That one's a base pay too, and then we do talon afterwards too, and it's
nice.
And they pay us every time.
Back in Tucson, man, the plantas, they would fuck with you all the time, man.
Really?
Yeah, like most of the plantas, they would not pay you sometimes.
Oh, yeah?
They'd owe you back money for fucking a month. Mm-hmm. And then you go to them and say, hey, man, we're going to not be here anymore. Like, okay, well, I guess you're not here.
To get paid either?
Yeah, they would screw you over. And then the wait staff would always, like, I play Candela's guitars, and I had one when I was in Changos in high school, and so I used that for a long time.
Yeah.
And like the waiter would come around with his tray and almost try to nick my guitar, and I'm like, bro, we're gonna throw hands in the parking lot, dude. I don't give a shit.
No, we never had that issue here. Luckily, all we do is go work, and I like it because it's consistent.
That's nice.
You get paid. You go. You do what you got to do there at the restaurant, and then it's good because the plantas here. Our boss was just talking about this. The good thing about plantas is that. they're really like a preview for any potential clients.
Yeah.
So when we pass out our cards, they have our number and the location of our plantas. So they get them, and they're all like, and once they call, they're like, hey, like we want to see if you guys can play this day or whatever. And our boss is like, okay, well we charge this much. They might not like the price, but they're like, well, we'll go check you out. And we'll see, what's up with the price.
That is a good marketing tool.
So then they come out and they watch us, and they're like, oh, you guys are actually pretty good. Y'all put on a good show or whatever. Fuck it, we'll justify the price or whatever,
Yeah.
And that's what's good about it, because that's how we get a lot of work. Because I mean, a lot of the people that we get to are just returning clients. Like we have a show that it's enough for them to be like, we're gonna get them again and again and again.
So you guys have like a set that you'll do, or
no, I mean
stuff before you'll do.
Every set is whatever people ask for.
Oh, okay.
So when we come in, we play like our like a song and like 2 other things we've been practicing or whatever, and then after that, it's literally whatever they ask for.
Nice.
The whole time until it's over. If they don't ask for anything, we just play like 1 or 2 more of whatever we want to play. But usually it's whatever they ask for. That's the whole show.
So what's the craziest gig you guys had up here? Like, where some crazy like fucking drama went down? Like in Tucson, there's always drama in Tucson. Dude, I went to a gig once when I was back when I was in my probably like your age or Victor's age, close to there,
right?
And like a family member shot another family member in the front of the house.
Oh shit!
Like we were in the backyard playing, and it was some party. It was some last minute party,
right? And
then you hear this commotion in the house, and you hear like someone's abuelita or someone like yelling at someone in Spanish. And you're like, what the fuck's going on inside?
Yeah.
And then a couple minutes go by, and then you hear 2 dudes in the front yard cussing each other out. And then you just hear the gunshot and the flash from the muzzle in the backyard. We're like, no, man, let's get the fuck out of here. So we're trying to get out of the back gate. Like, what if he comes back here and starts shooting, man?
It sounds like some like narco gig in Mexico or something.
I've played one of those too.
Oh shit!
So because in Tucson, you're only 40 minutes from the border.
True. Yeah.
So Nogales is right there.
Yeah.
And so I did a gig at a narco's house when I was like 19.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was 6 hours, and we were only supposed to be there for 4 hours, right?
Yeah. They keep adding.
And they keep adding hours,
yeah, I've heard
right?
of that shit.
Because we're playing all the old tunes. We had a cancionero there that was our bass player, and he could sing every fucking song in the book, right? And so 6 hours go by. It's now 10 o'clock at night. We're like, by the time, if we leave right now, it'll be midnight by the time I get into my bed, right?
Yeah.
And so, no, they want another hour. And so we do 1 more hour. We say, this is it. We have to drive. There's a checkpoint. Like, they may close the road. We may not be able to get back to Tucson.
Yeah.
And so the guy gets shitty. And so we do the hour, and then he's being a dick now. Yeah. He's like, 1 more hour, like because he can afford it, right?
Yeah, it's nothing.
But he's being a dick because we told him, hey, no, right?
Yeah.
And so he didn't pay us.
Oh no.
No, and we're
all that time.
And so I'm like, there's 3 of us that know how to fight. So let's just fuck this dude up.
But they know how to shoot.
They know. That's exactly what happened. This guy fucking flashed a gun, and he's just like, "Aquí está tu paga."
Yeah.
And we're just like, and for a second, I'm like, "Am I close enough to him to get to him before he pulls out his gun?" And I was thinking about it. I'm just like, I could probably reach him. And then the boss was just like, "Let's go right now." And he grabs my chaleco, and that was it. Fucking whole day wasted, dude. And we played another one right before, similar, like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And we each got paid like fucking $400, $400 or $500 or some shit like that extra for the whole day.
Yeah.
And it was in one spot. It was dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little bit of drama everywhere you go. I've played for a wedding where the bride wouldn't come out of the fucking limo.
Oh, I never had that either.
We're at the church, and she's in the limo, and she has a note, and the groom, he goes into the back of the church, and he starts throwing chairs, and he's cursing everything.
Shit.
I was like, oh my god, Tucson is kind of crazy, dude.
Shit, I don't think we can live up to that, because I'm like, what were you thinking of? Like
what's a crazy ass story?
What the fuck was crazy?
All we have is drunk people falling over.
Drunk people?
Yeah, like falling over. Other than that,
how nerve wracking is that now, though? Like, you guys are still out there jamming, right?
Yeah.
Do people still get close to you and shit? And then you're just like, man,
I fucking hate that shit. Because, like, we play or whatever, and it's not really once when we're playing. It's more like afterwards. Like, they're out there, no, muchas gracias, I nos vemos or whatever, and I'm just thinking, like, bro, like, chill, you know?
Yeah.
But people, if if they don't care enough to have us out there,
they don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Yeesh.
Everyone in the party is just like,
it's like being a young dude too. You're like, man, how many dates before this chick lets me sleep with her? And I'm a little concerned if it's on the first date.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, it's just a little sus right now out there.
I'm gonna do one of these. Please not AIDS, guys.
Oh, shit. Ooh, no. Hell
Please don't let me die.
Yeah, man. Like we're kind of risking it for the biscuit right now, but it's like we said, man. Like,
so if you're this busy now,
yeah,
like it must be really fucking like in a normal time.
Yeah,
it must be really busy
because we've already had a couple gigs like where they were already booked and stuff, and they canceled literally because of the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, they've even told us that they got it, so they're telling us like don't come.
Man.
Yeah.
Shit.
So they end up getting canceled, but for sure, like it's really heavy because I mean we start our weekends like on Thursday with the Thursday planta, and then we have the Friday planta. Every once in a while there'll be like a gig after the planta, like it just happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we play Saturdays, usually all day and stuff like that. So I mean it's pretty heavy, and then sometimes Sundays.
Yeah.
If there's something like our boss before we used to take on more work. But he kind of uses it more like a family day, like everybody can just chill that day. But he will get it like if it's worth it. Like say like the gig is like 2 hours, 3 hours, so it's worth going out there for that.
Yeah,
like we're not gonna play an hour on Sunday just
for nothing.
So
that's what you start doing when you get like a little bit older. Like I started doing that when I was in AZ.
Yeah,
I'd get like my friend like Miguel. By the way, fuck you if you're watching this. He's always giving me shit because I always turn down gigs. Like he'll have like a 2 hour in Mesa, and like for like the equivalent,
right.
It would be like if you told me that there's a 2 hour from here all the way down in South Dallas, and I'm like, I'm not driving all the way out there for 2 hours for what? And what's the gig? And it's like, well, this is that, and it's usually a gig he doesn't want to take. I'm like, oh, you don't want to take the gig, huh? That's so you're giving it to me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing it.
Fuck that.
Fuck that. I'm gonna stay home. It's nice and cool in here.
Yeah.
I got my fucking PlayStation and
I'm not gonna bust my ass for that shit.
No, there's no way.
Yeah.
So you do start doing that after a while.
Yeah.
You're just like, it's just not. But then you have a committed group.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like, so how is the whole structure like? How do you guys deal with that? Like I remember how I used to deal with it. I was like, I just would have to go with the flow. So I was young. And wherever the group is going, I gotta go. But like that was my biggest problem these days is like I don't even think I could be a part of a group because there's always the commitment kind of hurts because it's like that means whenever the director puts a gig on the schedule,
like that's what you gotta do.
That's what I gotta do.
Yeah, for sure. Here it's like once you're committed to, especially I'll use my group or like our group for an example, but. Once you're committed to the group, like
it's kind of expected.
Yeah, you kind of expected to go to every gig. There might be some exceptions, maybe like if you ask the boss, he's like, hey, we have this hour or whatever. Oh, but I already had this plan. Okay, we can afford to like have you not go or whatever. But for the most part, everybody goes. Like we don't really have an issue where like it's like, oh, well, I'm not going,
but
like
he's
make
at least
it like
considerate, right?
Yeah, like our boss. That's what I'm saying. Like he's
like he won't book you like fucking back to back to back, and then as you're out there, okay, more. Like he doesn't seem like a greedy guy.
No, he's not. No, for sure, he's not greedy. He's actually a really nice guy. Like as a boss, he really does shit well. Like nice. I said, we've worked with people before that. They're just assholes, like they're the group owner because they're like everybody hates him, but he's always been chill about stuff. So like when he does add more group more gigs or whatever, like last minute stuff, like we're like, oh, well, that's cool. I mean, it's more work for us, it's whatever.
Nice.
But he the way he runs the group really is an example for a lot of people because he's like selfless in a lot of ways, and then he the van is his, like the van that we all traveled into. Like he goes out of his way to drive all the way, because they live all the way the fuck up in Pilot Point, Texas, which is like an hour from here, like over an hour from here. And he makes it a point to come all the way down here to pick us up. Like we always have like a meeting place, so depending where the last gig is. Like we have like spots all around DFW. Like it'll be like this gas station or this Walmart or whatever.
See, I like driving.
I mean, I'll do too.
That's
but
my only thing. I'm just
and then that's the thing too. Like you could be driving, but then what's good about being in a van is that we all get there at the same time.
Right.
So you're not getting to the gig and it's like, oh well, Victor's like 40 minutes away because he got stuck in traffic or whatever, and then you got to wait for everybody to come in to start playing or whatever.
Does that happen to you guys? Like you've been super fucking late to a gig. You're like, shit.
I mean, we've been late before, but at least all of us were late. Like it wasn't like we can't start because Victor's like far or like I'm far. Yeah, so we're like fuck, right? But he goes out of his way to drive all the way to wherever the last gig is. So as soon as we're done with the gig, we get to our cars fast, and then he drives home. Like we get home
reasonably, right?
Or at a reasonable time.
Nice
We're not driving forever and stuff like that.
That's
so I mean,
cool.
He's a good guy in that respect, and he knows the kind of musicians we are, and he gives us like on our artistic freedom, I guess you could say. Right. Sometimes we fuck around in the gig, and he's not like, "Hey, don't do that shit."
Like if you're ever playing like melody lines on bass, people give you a hard time and shit. You're making it too complicated.
The violins do, because they hate it.
The violins is like whenever he puts something fancy, sometimes I'll be like, "The fuck." I'm like,
mind your business.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Or like sometimes whenever you fuck up, and I'll look at you, I'm like, the fuck.
How bad is it to fuck up on bass, man? Because I'm not a bass player.
Yeah.
Like not naturally. Like I'm a guitar player, and so bass is just like a necessity.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when I'm playing bass and I'm trying to figure something out, and you fuck up a note, dude, like everybody turns and looks at you. It's like, dude. You guys miss notes all the time.
Yeah,
and you're right in front.
That's one thing. I'm like, dude, you look at me like you haven't fucked up either.
In the whole gig, and we've said this before, like, since we're La Armonía, it's only him and me, right? Like, the guitarrón is by itself, vihuela's by itself. So whenever we fuck up, it's the first thing anybody hears.
Yeah.
So everybody turns around, like, when we fuck up, and they're all like, what the fuck was that? And we're all like, well, shit, I can't fuck up. Like, there's 4 of y'all, so, like, if one of y'all fucks up, the other person is like covering them, so
do, like there's always a mistake with them,
Yeah, there's there's always a mistake with them. So I'm like, I'm just thinking like, but they're not asshole about it. It's more like we heard you fuck up. Like they turn around like I'm like fuck you. Like,
thanks for noticing. Jerks.
Yeah, thanks for noticing that I fucked up that one note in this whole time.
Do something cool, they don't fucking
right.
They don't acknowledge it.
Like we're both over here playing, and we'll be playing. We do something cool, and I'm like, ooh, like I look over at you. I'm like. Cool, man. That was cool.
Very nice.
But then, when you fuck up, I'm like, the fuck are you playing?
When you're playing bass, have you ever just, like, for one day when you're in a long gig, just hated the trumpet section for a while? Because you're standing right next to them all day.
I don't know about that.
I don't mind them, but there's some parts... Because our trumpet players like to dance a lot.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they dance the whole time,
they
dude.
do, like, a little dancing thing, and there's, like... It's mainly like on Mariachi Loco. They do a thing where they turn to the right and they turn to the left. And sometimes when it turns to the left, like he blasts my ear.
Oh, God. Hate that shit.
Yeah.
There's trumpet players in Tucson that do it on purpose because they know it fucks with you, right?
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, dude. It's like I got in trouble for a little bit when I was playing gigs on bass for like a consistent couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a trumpet player that, you just go where the work is. He had no control of his trumpet.
Oh,
like it was just as loud as he can fucking get that thing going right next to me. So I remember going home and I can still hear it in my sleep. Like,
oh shit.
Like I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah.
And then I was tired and as you see probably on my Facebook, I say a lot of shit sometimes. And I was like, man, I fucking hate trumpet sections. And I woke up the next morning, everybody's like, how dare you? You know what Don Miguel Martinez did for mariachi? I'm like, what the fuck is all of this? Like, I just said I don't like one particular section for the last month.
That's why we were so scared to like. I wasn't
you
scared.
you do those videos, dude, and those
parties
are so funny, man. I remember I didn't even know who you were, but I saw your first one with what's his name, the Cascabel solo.
Oh, that one with Raul Castillo?
Yeah, with Raul. And that was the first one I saw.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just dying. I'm just like, man, who is this guy? This is hilarious.
Yeah, man. Like
I was sending it to all my friends in Tucson, and I'm just like, look at this shit. This is hilarious.
Yeah. I think it's just when I like did those, I was just kind of like bored at work. So I was just like, fuck around. So when I started doing them, I wasn't scared like to put them on or anything. But in a way, I was kind of like, I don't know what's going to happen because everybody loves to talk about these guys like they're like gods, But dude, like they're they're not equal to me, right? Like me or you or whatever, but they are obviously professionals and or whatever. But I mean, at the same time, they're just dudes,
they're
man.
Just people.
They're just people. Fucking dudes. They're just dudes that happen to be in that group, and they're really good. Like, you respect them for that. You know, they did everything they could to get in that group or whatever. But they're just dudes. So like, and if you look at that specific video, like the first one was with Noete Calidad.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at that video on its own, if you look at it on its own, it's literally them fucking around.
They're doing that.
Like, I didn't.
The whole Armonía section's going.
Just, like that. Yeah, the whole time they're fucking around, and I'm just thinking like, well, they're the ones doing it. I'm not the one like telling them to do that shit. Yeah. All I did was put voices on it and like do a little editing. And then some people, like a lot of the people, were really like hyped about it. Like they were cool. Like,
I bet you if they saw it, they thought it was funny.
Well, apparently some of them did. I don't know if they thought it was funny, but but they all saw it. I know that for sure. Yeah, but like I didn't tell them to fuck around at the gig. Like they're doing exactly what me and Victor would do at a gig. Right. It's just fuck around, you know. So
it kind of relates more because every Armonía section does that when we're playing some boring ass thing. It's like we're either gonna do that. Or we're just gonna drown out, dude.
And then it goes back to that, like, what I love about that video on it, not so much the parody that I did, but just the video in general. It shows that, like, those guys, even though they're professionals, they can still have fun with it. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the times you see them on stage, and especially in the Armonía section, they're just fucking in the background. They're just...
Yeah. No one's paying
There's
attention.
no emotion. Nobody gives a fuck. They're just... I mean, not that they don't give a fuck, but they have a face like, okay, we're here. We're just playing the concert. You know, we're going hard or whatever. But they have no emotion. So like that video on its own like makes me happy because I'm like, look at them, like they're just dudes. They're just dudes, just like me and Victor, like you. Like we're just dudes.
We're just people.
We're just people like fucking around at a gig
in this for some reason.
And that is so relatable to anybody. Like everybody's like, we've done that, you know.
I think my favorite one though that you've done out of all of them was the one where like the latest one where the chick is getting out of the carriage. And Arturo goes for her hand, and she just blows him off. He's like, "Aquí está mi mano." Like,
yeah, dude.
Yo, what the fuck?
And like the whole time I was watching like that video, because sometimes like when I was young, I would just like go across like and watch like random videos of mariachis and stuff. So when I found that one, like I was just like watching the interview, and I was like, "Look at all this funny shit that's going down like in the background. Like, is no one paying attention to this?" Like. So when I was just like, man, like this is too funny not to like do anything to it. Like it's just like sitting there on the internet for it, and no one's fucked around with it. So I'm just gonna fuck it. I'm just gonna make it worse. Yeah. So that's what I did.
That was really good, man. Please continue to do those.
Yeah. They only want to have time, really. And whenever like everybody dies down from the last one, like this is blasphemy. Don't do this again. But we'll see.
Like, you know what? There's this thing called America.
There's America,
and I think I'll do whatever I want as long as it's not illegal.
Yeah, I thought this was America. I don't know.
Slowly turning into something else, man. I don't know. It's getting kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, dude, we've been talking for a little over an hour now. I know you guys tend to keep your podcast pretty short. Like sometimes my shit can go on forever, dude, but it is late on a Sunday night, man. It's like anything else you guys want to chat about or talk about or like your podcast, the CharroBeans. That thing is funny as hell.
Oh, I appreciate it.
You know, I know you guys are taking time out of your schedule to do mine. It's my first one. It's highly unorganized. I'm just chilling here, and it's like
I'm the same way.
Nothing
dude. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing, dude. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think you guys have it even more together than I do because at least you guys have your guys' streaming. You guys have it on Spotify. Like you guys they're doing it. I don't do any of that. I put it to YouTube and then I just forget about it.
Yeah,
and I'll listen to them, but like I've not gotten. Like, I'm not fucking Joe Rogan. You know?
Like those guys are on it, man.
I know. I thought about, like, buying more stuff. Like, I have this camera, and I have a wide angle so that it can, be, like, show everything. But, like, some of the equipment that he uses is, like, he has a switchboard that his tech, you know, runs. And so that's how you're able to see, like, the voice activation between when I start talking more and you guys start talking more. Like, the cameras will switch.
Oh, yeah. I want to do shit like that.
But that's like the highest end.
Yeah,
it's like $20,000.
Yeah, fuck that.
Like that's the highest end. It's like you could do it yourself, but you would need. I need a new computer because this thing is pretty dope, but it's pretty much maxed out. Like as far as inputs.
Yeah.
And when I try to put an extender on here and put more inputs, like something will have to shut itself down.
Oh, I see.
Like there's just not enough power. Yeah. So it's like if I put another USB or another monitor or another mic, Man, this is totally like this is super Chicano setup, man. Like if I put in another USB, the Wi-Fi card dies.
You should see mine, dude.
It's like Super Nintendo back in the day. I gotta like blow on the cartridge to get the shit working, man.
Man, our like studio is really just my dog's room, and we just kind of converted it, but
it looks nice.
We're just trying our best, really, to
it looks
make
good.
it look professional, I guess, because we're just kind of like when we started, we just kind of like we started on my couch, like at home, and we sort of still holding the mics and stuff, but. We're trying to grow it, just trying to make it, like I said, it's really just a chill place to talk about what we did, but at the same time, like, have a chill time about it, because mariachi, at the end of the day, it's just music.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's relatable in the fact that we all do it, and we all, like to keep up on it, so I looked at it as an opportunity to talk about it, and in a way that it's not really talked about, you know what I mean? Like behind the scenes. Really behind the scenes is what we all do. We're not all professionals.
Yeah.
And we're just here in the back just trying to have a good time. And we want to get more people on there. Like Tony was like the first one. I wanted to make the first one like a big deal with him. Like for me, it was a big thing because like I looked up to that dude and I still look up to that dude.
Yeah.
Since I was young, man. Like when I started playing vihuela and I started listening to recordings like that of him playing, like it just like brought in my mind. So after that, I was just like, man, like this, I stand this dude, bro. Like I'm a simp, bro. You know. So after that, I was like, when I had the opportunity just to ask him, I was like, well, the worst he can say is no.
Yeah.
So the fact that he said yeah, I was like, cool. So now that we kind of got him, I hope that we have it planned to get some other people on there.
Nice.
It's just a matter of...
It's always one person goes first and then other people are like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm not walking into a fucking setup here. Like, this is chill. I can do it. And I feel more comfortable.
I kind of wanted it to be like, okay, well, if he got on there, then I guess I can get on there too, you know, like... Because they might be thinking, like, who the fuck are these two dudes, like, just talking about mariachi? Yeah. And that's the thing, like, we really are just two dudes just talking, you know, so... Well,
that's the whole point of user-created content on YouTube and on Spotify. It's like, most people don't like watching overly produced content.
Yeah.
Like, ever since I was a kid, when you watch all, like, the music videos from, like, Sol de Mexico,
right.
I like those. Like, they're very well produced. But then in the background, everyone's always talking shit. Like, oh, what is this? Mariachi music videos?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, why are you such a hater, bro?
It's because at the end of the day, like, nothing will satisfy everybody.
No.
So
everyone's going to have
everybody's going to have an opinion. And they're entitled to it, you know, so it's whatever. So when we started this, I even told you, I was like, I'm kind of scared in a way that I don't know what people will say, but eventually I grew out of it. I was like, what are they going to say? Like, we ain't shit. Like, we already know that, bro.
We haven't had anything negative.
Seems like everyone likes your guys' stuff.
Well, exactly. Like, well, who knows? You know,
I like it. It was. I listened to your guys' podcast. I'm laughing my ass off. I'm like, man, this is fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we don't know if people have talked shit about it or anything because they won't. A lot of people won't tell you in your face, obviously. So who knows if some people might not like it or whatever. But the people, huh?
I look do want to
know. Yeah, I'd like to know. So I'd be like, why, bro? You know.
It's like, what?
There he is, motherfucker.
Oh,
but no, we're just trying to have a good time with it. It's we're hoping on some bigger things, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah, man. I wish you guys nothing but luck and success and all that stuff, man. That's pretty cool.
For sure.
It was weird. I felt the same way doing this, and my problem is I haven't been consistent at all. Just because
it gets hard.
It's so hard, dude. It's like you have a job, you have a wife, you have gigs, you have everything.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
Now that I'm on the same boat, you know, I'm married. I have a job. I don't have as much time as I did when I was young. Like, if I would have started this a long time ago, maybe I had more time.
Yeah, you'd be Joe Rogan right now, dude.
Yeah, right.
You'd be the mariachi
I wouldn't
Joe
have to worry
Rogan.
about this shit at all. But I just told him, I was like, bro, let's do it. And I remember it was like 1 week. I just told you, and then the week after, I was like, so you're down, right? Because I'd already bought like
come
shit.
on, please don't cancel on me.
When I told him, yeah, I was like,
because it was that thing too. Like we were playing. I think we were burritos. The
planta from Friday. Yeah.
And you were just like, you want to be my co-host for this thing, and I'm like, see, wait,
like he agreed, and I'm
Whatever.
thinking like, so that's a yes. So you're saying yeah, and you're like, see, wait, whatever.
Okay.
I don't
and
care.
Next week, you're like, hey, like show up at this time. Or something.
Yeah. I was like, I have it set up, bro. So whenever you want to come through, you're like, oh shit, you were serious. Oh, okay, I guess you know. But
it definitely is better with like, because I've seen people that do just single podcasts, and you're pretty much just bitching on a mic.
Yeah,
That's all you're doing. Which can be entertaining if you're a comedian. If you're like fucking Bill Burr or someone.
Yeah, like, you can actually come up with funny shit. But I told him, I was like, bro, I could talk by myself, but like, I need someone there, like, to talk to. So I'll be like, you can be there. He's like, Emma, he's like, but I don't know what to say. So I'll be like,
it's like, yo, see, like, I don't talk a lot.
He doesn't talk a lot, but when he does, it's like a little offhand comment, and like, that's the funny shit. So I was like, fucking.
You need that flavor.
Yeah, you need that.
You need that flavor.
You just had a little dasher once in a while, and I'm like, okay, at least I'm not talking to my dog. It's just like me and my dog.
I know, dude. Every time I turn on the camera and I do a guitar lesson video, I'm just like, why the fuck am I doing this? I don't even know what I'm talking about, man. It's like, this is just things that my teachers taught me when I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, but that's good though, because some people like when I was young, I would look up shit on YouTube and be like, how to play this, how to play that. Give me some tips on this, you know. And there were content creators that would do that back then too. Mm-hmm. But like now, there's more, you know.
There's a lot now.
There's an abundance now. And I don't know what it's like to be a kid and look them up now, but I know back then it would help me. So like whenever it was like how to play this song or like these scales or whatever on vihuela, it helped me out a lot because that was the only way. I mean, at school I learned it, but I learned more también also on the internet and stuff like that.
Super Zombie back in the day, he was like one of the only dudes on vihuela.
Yeah. And now he's like, he has his own thing. Like I remember when he was starting his YouTube channel, was just kind of like random videos.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of putting them out there with Vihuelero 2001. So
yeah.
I would watch those all the time.
I still have his channel.
Yeah. And then when he created the Vihuela TV, I was like, oh, well, that's cool. Like it would be just all Vihuela shit. And he's doing good on it. So that's cool. I mean,
I was supposed to interview him too when I went to LA the last time before COVID.
Oh yeah,
and he ended up having to play a gig or some shit.
Yeah, no pudo.
Yeah, he joined like a big group out there, and he got kind of busy.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, COVID.
Yeah, and
dude, what a crazy fucking thing, man. I'm just like,
man.
I never thought anything would happen like this.
Yeah, but I mean, it opened up a lot of opportunities as well. Because like, I probably wouldn't have had this thought for podcasting either. Because my boy started one, and I went on his podcast, and then I was like, that sounds kind of fun, like, to do. And then I had the idea for mariachi.
Yeah.
And then that's when I asked him. So it kind of led to it. I guess I have to thank COVID for that in a way. And then it also, like, taught me Zoom. And that's how we did the Tony interview.
I think that's more comfortable now because everyone's so used to being on Zoom now.
Yeah, I guess so.
I just don't like it. Like, it's so hard to, like, because there's a lag.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a little bit of a lag. So as you're talking, you can't quite tell when the person's done talking or...
Right.
Vice versa.
We had I think it went pretty smoothly with him.
His was cool until the elements took over. And
dude, it got
couldn't
dark.
See him
because he was like out there and outside, and it looked good at first, but little by little, it started getting dark. And I thought it was funny because I was like, he went completely dark and shit, and then like the last like 10-15 minutes, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go in my garage, and then like there's a light in there. I'm like, bro, you could have done that this whole time.
What was going through your mind right there, trying to deal with the technical issues?
Yeah,
it's like because you're trying to have a conversation with someone, but then at the same time, you're like, okay, are the mics still running? Is the computer running? Is the camera still recording?
And I was like super nervous because I was like the first filmed podcast like with Zoom, and I didn't know what I was doing like with everything.
You guys actually pulled it off well.
Yeah,
like the first one I did was really rough. I had to sit there and edit it like down to like every little to match up, and it still wasn't perfect.
Yeah, I think even mine, they still aren't perfect, but I mean, I'm still like trying to figure it out because I'm no editor, I'm no fucking YouTube dude doing this shit, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying my best, and that Tony one came out pretty good, and I was just happy with it, and. Just to, at least that we can do it again with someone else. So, we'll see what happens with the next guest, whenever we get them on.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Or her, you know, whatever happens.
There's plenty of people around, man.
Yeah, it's just a matter of them saying, yeah.
Yeah, just coming on and a lot of people are afraid, like, they don't like speaking. Yeah. A lot of people are afraid to say the wrong thing, you know?
Right.
When I have other guests, like, you guys are pretty chill. So, I'm, like, super comfortable around you guys saying whatever. But like when I interviewed Steve Carrillo and a few other old, you know, Colbre guys, like I was like, don't swear, don't say fuck, don't say fuck, don't say fuck.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's what I told. It's funny because when we hit him up, we hit up Tony, and I was like, look, man, we had like a little talk before. Like, is there anything you don't want to bring up? Yeah. You know, like I don't want to ask something, or like if I ask something you don't want to answer, just let me know.
You don't want to look uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'll edit it out. You know, whatever. And he's like, nah, bro, I don't give a fuck. And I was like. Bet. All right, let's go. Then.
What I did with like high profile guys, I kind of came up with like a list of topics. Mm-hmm. I don't like scripted shit.
Yeah.
Like if I have to start scripting things, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like I'll just not do this.
Yeah.
You know, but like to be courteous, like I remember a little bit of like when I went to Pueblo High School in Tucson, they had a media magnet program.
Yeah.
That's how I learned how to do all this shit. And then they also teach you journalism and how to write and how to interview people on the radio.
Right.
And you know, to this day, I still tell people like, kids need mentors. They need education programs because I wouldn't be anywhere. Mm-hmm. You know, like none of us would. Like you guys talking about just the mariachi program, and it's
for sure
impacted your life for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I remembered, okay, when you're going to have a guest, you don't have to script it, but it's pretty good to just say, here's some of the things that I would like to general talk about, right? That way they have it in their head and they kind of know more or less, okay, they feel comfortable.
Right.
And they look at that and like, this is pretty interesting, chill, okay. And then you stick to those kind of general topics and then you let them kind of guide the conversation where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Like that was the most nerve-wracking thing. One was because Steve is actually my idol. Like
really?
As far as mariachi,
cool.
like he's my fucking like how Tony is to you.
Yeah.
Like he's my idol. Like I remember watching, Mariachi Cobre since I was like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I wish I could sing like him. He's just like, that big ass voice.
Belts that shit out like nothing.
And I was like, man. And so I was down in Tucson. I was interviewing other retired Cobre members that were living in Tucson. And then Steve Carrillo shows up at this function and they were like, hey Steve, we're gonna do this podcast. And I'm like, no, I don't want to.
You're like all nervous and shit.
I was like nervous as shit. I'm like, no, don't. Like I didn't want to do it. And then he said yes. Like he was totally cool. And then so I'm trying to like not just sit there and make it like Steve. Like I just like ask him all the questions, right? Like, and at the same time, one of his compadres, he's a big talker, so he'll take over, man. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like,
just keep talking.
He'll go, right? Like he's a. And then there was another guy that was really nice, really, but doesn't always talk too much. Mm-hmm. So I'm like trying to balance three different kind of personalities
at the same time.
At the same time, it's like kind of like Victor. Like Victor will say stuff, but he's mostly quiet, right?
Yeah, that's how he is anywhere.
And then some people will say, "What's wrong with that guy? Why did you ignore him the whole time and you didn't talk to him?" And I was like, "Oh god damn! All right, yeah. I was trying to so bad, but that came out really great.
Yeah.
But so I know how you feel like that. You're just like, and then I like to like when it's not an early podcast.
Yeah.
I like to bring scotch into the mix.
Just to get a little tipsy.
A little bit of scotch flowing and people start talking, dude.
Yeah,
they'll start letting it out.
It's because I think at the end of the day, people like watching shit that's genuine.
Yeah.
Because
everything else is so fake.
Yeah.
Our news is fucking scripted. And
so when I told Victor like to do this, I was like, the reason I want to do it too is because like I want it to be real. Like I don't shy away from who I am or who he is. Like when we're on the podcast, like I want to be exactly who I am on there. Yeah. And the same thing with the people that come on. Like and then people would be like, oh, like hey bro, let me get on the podcast. And not to say that they're fake or anything, but I don't want anybody there with an agenda. So I want someone there that's going to be talking, and it's just them chilling, like because that's what we're doing here. Like we're just sitting here chilling, being real. Right. So every person that comes on, like we're just going to be like, well. I don't want someone there like trying to talk like you said, like scripted or being someone they're not. Like I want them
hard to talk to a person like that.
Yeah, and especially because if you feel like you're talking to them and they have like something else like that they're trying to do.
It's already pre-written.
Yeah,
and they're not really talking to you.
Yeah, you're talking to
they're just staring at you until you finish the words coming out of your face.
Yeah,
like okay, he's done. So, anyways, here's what I want to do, and it's like, oh, motherfucker.
Yeah, all right. So I told him, I was like, we know exactly who we are. Like, when we're playing, exactly. Especially because I've known him for so long. So I'm like, we know each other. We already have a good, like, camaraderie. So, like...
Yeah, and it shows.
And I can be like, okay, bro, like, I can talk shit to him, and he'll talk shit to me, and we won't get offended or anything like that. Like,
that's good.
Ya somos lo que somos. We're already what we are. So like, I'm like, let's just do that like on a podcast, be real, and I feel like people will respect that.
Kind of remind me of like a fucking Mexican version of Wayne's World when I saw your
Wayne's. Everybody says that we're high through the whole thing.
Well, not that you're high, but it's just like the dynamic, right?
Yeah.
Where like Wayne and Garth are like so different.
Yeah, yeah.
But they like match together when they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Because everybody says like, do you guys just like get drunk and start talking? I'm like, no, dude, that's just my voice.
Like we're not under the influence of
anything,
substances, no,
or lack of thereof,
or lack thereof.
But
to include the following
like
controlled items.
It's literally just us talking, dude. Like, I'm sorry that I sound that way, but nah, man, we're just trying to do our thing and trying to do it in the most humble, real way that we can. You know, it's just us fucking around.
That's dope, man.
At the end of the day, we're just dudes.
Yeah.
Victor's like, yeah. Pinche Victor. Culero.
Well, I can't wait to see what you guys do, man. I can't wait to. Did your Vihuela show up yet or no?
Yeah, I got it.
How is that?
I haven't played it yet. I just took it out of the box and looked at it real quick.
It's all good?
Because I went to sent it to my mom's house.
Oh, nice.
Because I didn't know if I was going to be home. So I didn't want someone to steal it or something.
Yeah, fuck no.
Or like if nobody's there to sign, they just take it to FedEx, and I didn't want to do that. So.
Yeah, there's a way to do, and maybe another time we'll talk about like because you've bought and sold a lot of instruments.
Yeah.
I've done the same.
Yeah.
And then there's people out there right now that are buying and selling, shipping, and I don't know if everybody knows that there's a way to do this shit so that you get what you paid for, delivered on time, not broken. I've seen people fucking put a Vihuela in a case and they stamp a label on the case and send it like that.
I've got a couple like that.
Oh my god, I get so pissed off. I'm like, man, you know what? I truly believe that there's no justified reason for violence, but if I get a Vihuela like that, I'm oh god, don't let me catch you on the street.
Yeah, man.
Just don't let me do it.
It's very risky.
It is.
So like when you open it, you don't even know what you're going to open.
So everything was cool with yours, right?
Yeah, everything was good.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of my boys, like old school Tucson, new school, old school. So like like we're like my age group and older. They were taught by all of the old guys from when Vargas comes to Tucson, Camperos comes to Tucson, like every fucking year for like 20 years, from the 80s all the way until like 2000 when I started doing mariachi.
Right.
And so Boo Boo Soldier Vihuela, he's one of those guys that was older than me. Like when I was a freshman, I was looking up to him because he was like a junior, senior guy.
Yeah, he's older dudes.
He's one of those badass dudes that was always like jamming out and like, fuck, bro. And so when he had that, I was like, I know people in Texas that might be looking, bro. I know what I'm doing, man. I'll broker the deal. I'll help you out, get you, make sure that you get what you want and that you get what you want. And I was like, I don't know how all of a sudden I became like the instrument whisperer, but I've been doing it for a long time, man.
Fucking, what are they called? The fucking, like the dealer.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the word.
The fixer.
The fixer, yeah.
The cooler.
He's the plug. That's what it was.
He's
the
not
plug.
the plug.
I couldn't think of the damn word. I was like, what the fuck is it?
Yeah, dude, that was a nice one. I remember that went through 2 people. And it came straight from the Roberto shop, dude. Yeah,
it still looks brand new, except for the tuning keys. They looked a little bit weathered.
Yeah,
that was the only thing. But I'll try it out and see what happens. I'm very particular. Like I like a specific sound, and if I don't get it or I know I'm not gonna get it, like with time, I'm just kind of like,
pass it on to the next person.
Yeah, because every instrument is different. So some people might like it. Like that Vihuela that I don't like, some other kid will like it. And it's like, oh, this one's badass. I'm like.
Yeah, I've passed a couple of Robertos that I didn't like. Yeah. And the kid was like, that's his main instrument.
Yeah, and like they run with that shit, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is a badass Vihuela. I'm like, kudos to you, man. You can have it.
If you like it, bro.
Yeah.
You paid for it.
Yeah, like, that's all you, bro. No, I'm good on, if you give me the money, I'm good. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Man, well, guys, I don't want to keep it too long. I know the wife probably has to get to sleep soon.
Nah. I'm like, nah, she's good. And then Victor's you got a cat, right?
Yeah.
She's asleep right now. Like, don't even know where the fuck you are, bro.
She's like, I don't care. He'll come back someday.
Yeah, I'll come back eventually.
I know how to get out of here if I need to.
I already know where the fucking food is. We're straight over here.
Well, cool, man. Well, you guys are officially like the first mariachi friends I'm making here in the area.
For sure.
Like, I have not been inclined to do anything.
It's not really your fault. Like, can't go out, so...
Can't go out.
Eventually, once everything dies down, I'm sure you can get back into it. Like I said, there's an abundance of work here. Bunch of groups. And most of the time, someone's always asking for help, so...
Yeah, some of them are groups now, too.
Yeah, you'll eventually find someone. Like, if you want a gig, or you just want to get out of your system, you can go and make your money and come back home. It's pretty chill here.
Nice.
Very chill.
Well, guys, Sammy, Victor, thanks for coming out to my house,
For sure.
doing a little podcast, getting me back in the swing of things.
For sure.
I don't know when I'm going to do another one. For all you folks watching and enjoying the PlayMariachi podcast, sorry for being gone. Hey, I moved to another state, all right? You don't know.
I was fucking busy. Get off my dick.
You don't know the shit that I've gone through in the last 2 months, man.
Yeah,
and just
man.
all the zigzags and the bobbing and weavings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you should have bobbed when you weave. You should have weaved when you bobbed.
Yeah,
I'm like, I've been doing this for 2 months, and I've been hitting every one just right.
Yeah.
So I don't go under. It's like, damn, dude. My last trip was just yesterday to pick up my guitar.
Uh-huh.
And I'll show it to you guys right now if you want to see. I know there's other folks out there too that want to see the guitar. I'm gonna be making some shit. I'm sorry, I'm trying. And then there's another dude that I want to shout out here, and he actually makes like vihuela and guitarrón and guitar like scratch pads. Like he hit me up on Facebook. His name's Hector.
Gas?
Yeah. And I wanted to shout out him. I'll post his stuff too. But I'm going to buy some stuff from him. Now, usually, the way this works is you don't start shouting people out until you've tried their shit. I have not tried out his stuff yet, but I'm going to buy some. I'm going to give him a shot because they're removable. Yeah,
they're removable scratch pads. So, my vihuela, the one that I have, has like a mica on the back.
Yeah.
But the person that put it on there fucked it up. So... I can't take it off because if I take it off, I'm taking off the whole varniz.
Oh, God.
And the paint and everything, it's all coming off.
Might as well take it back to the Morales shop.
Yeah, man. So the back just kind of, it's going to look like that no matter what. But these scratch pads, I think they
look legit,
Yeah, they're. I actually played with someone that had it because it just looks like a black mica. Mm-hmm. And I was like, the fuck is that? And he was like, no, they come off. And he just like took it off.
And he's making different colors. He's making like a ivory one and a black one. A brown one and then like another color one. He sent me all the info, so I didn't forget about you, bro. I've been fucking busy. Fucking busy. You don't know how busy, man.
Right.
And it's only gonna get busier as the year goes on. Now that I took my trip out, I'm done, dude. Unless someone's dying in Arizona, fucking you guys are not gonna see me for a long time. Forever. I love it. I love it here in Texas.
Yeah, man, it's chill. But don't come. We're already full.
Yeah, that's what I'm a little worried about. Fucking everyone's starting to move out here,
dude,
man.
Texas is full. I'm sorry.
No occupancy.
No vacancy. I'm sorry.
Don't bring those politics out here, man. We're just fine.
It's very full.
It's very full. I'm the last motherfucker they let in.
We're closing shop. Sorry, baby.
Closing down. It's not that great here, guys. It kind of sucks out here.
For sure.
It's expensive, and there's oil leaks everywhere. Barbecue food everywhere. Who likes that shit, bro? It gives you heart attacks. Makes you fat.
I mean, I kind of like it. It's whatever.
I was legit. I tried some barbecue 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, they're not messing around, dude.
Yeah, they kill the whole cow. Cook that shit real good.
I'm like, the bone, everything. I'm just like, put it in my face, bro. Macaroni on top.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like 12 heart attacks right now. And I love it.
If it's not dripping, it's not good.
Nah. I haven't tried any of the Mexican food out here, though.
No?
Nah.
No, you gotta look for it. It's a lot of Tex-Mex. I don't know if you know what Tex-Mex is.
Oh, yeah. You know what the Hano food is, man. I mean, that's all we really eat in Arizona anyways.
Yeah, there's a lot of Tex-Mex places here, but you gotta go to like the most rundown looking place. That's usually the best food.
Holes in the wall.
Holes in the drywall kind of shit.
I can spot those places really quickly. I grew up in a neighborhood like that.
Yeah.
But then I also feel awkward because I'm not from that neighborhood.
so when you show up,
I still feel like, man, I don't know if I want to go into a neighborhood that I didn't grow up in. Because you kind of get paranoid like that. Like, I grew up in Bravo Park in South Tucson. That's where my Nana's house is.
Okay.
And that's dangerous fucking area of town.
Oh, really?
And so you don't go to Bravo Park, and then there's like Desert Shadows, then there's Midvale, then there's Little Jamaica. There's all these fucking little, and then there's South Tucson, there's Barrio Hollywood. It's like if you don't live there or you don't have family there, you don't just go in there for.
Oh really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know there was turf wars over there.
Not really turf wars, but when I was growing up, and when I was in high school, I went to just maybe 3 miles north of my Nana's house, and like 36 in Campbell area, and we're just there at my friend's house. We're just picking them up, and a car just rolls down window, shotgun barrels pointed right at us.
Oh shit!
And they're just like
gangland over there.
Yeah, they're like, where are you guys coming from?
Yeah.
Like, why are you guys here? And then our friend has to run out of his house and say, no, chill, they're cool, they're with me.
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is at night.
Yeah.
So during the day, pretty cool, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But at nighttime, like if they don't recognize your car in certain areas, don't go there. Don't go there.
Like sometimes when I go to one of the restaurants, like you see like a white guy walk in with like a portfolio. Like you can tell he works in downtown.
Yeah.
So he goes there to like have lunch.
You already know he's a Yelper. Like they walk in, they're like they see like the Yelp review is always the same. It's like there was holes on the wall, but the food was great.
Yeah.
You know,
food is fantastic.
Food is fantastic. I felt like
really
I was in Cancun again.
Really authentic. Reminded me of the family vacation that we took, and I'm like, oh god.
But yeah, you got to go to those hole in the wall places here. But that's good. Yeah, that's good Mexican food. It's good. It's just good food in general.
Yeah, I like the food. I like the food for real.
Whataburger.
All right, y'all, Whataburger. You know what? I grew up with it too. But for us in Tucson, like the big thing was In-N-Out because we didn't have it.
Is there In-N-Out there now?
There is now, but when I was coming up, like in high school, you had to go to Phoenix to get it if you really wanted it. And then when we would go to LA to play shows in the Changos, then we would always go to In-N-Out because it was like a thing. You know, it was more of a novelty than it is better than In-N-Out. In-N-Out burger is this fat, and it's good, and the bun is thick. The meat patty is legit. It just felt like.
For me, it feels like a snack, bro.
Yeah, it feels like whatever, right?
I eat it on like an hour later. I'm like, I can eat another one. You know, like Whataburger, you're down for the count. You know, you eat a good burger from Whataburger, and
you can't get up, dude.
You're good to go.
Yeah, man.
I just want to do it. Like we had Griff's the other day.
Oh, we had Griff's. I don't know if you know what Griff's is.
Nuh-uh.
Griff's is like a local joint. Not local. I don't know how far outside of Fort Worth it goes, but it's for sure local, and it's burgers, but the burgers are a little bit thinner. He got the triple the other day, and he's like, "I'm still hungry," and I was like, "Must be nice to be skinny, bro."
Yeah, I know. We just smell the burger, and it's like,
yeah, dude.
Like fuck,
main flow, it goes straight to my ass.
I didn't eat the burger, God.
Yeah.
I didn't eat the burger.
I'll eat it later, but
I saw there was a Shake Shack in Fort Worth.
Yeah,
I still haven't eaten there.
It's in the stockyards. Yeah,
like we had those.
They just made it. Yeah.
We had those in Phoenix, but I still haven't checked them out.
It's okay. I didn't think it was. I mean, New Yorkers probably love it, but because I think it's from over there. But
yeah,
it's good. But it doesn't matter what I eat. Like I just want a Whataburger. Like it just always hits the spot. Like it always does for me.
You know what? The next burger I eat, I might go eat a Whataburger again.
Yeah,
like I said, I have not eaten one since college, and that's probably why I don't like it because every time I've eaten that shit,
yeah, if you were eating it at 4 a.m,
I'm drunk and hungover, and I'm like, oh,
you gotta,
I can't do this anymore.
What you do is you gotta not eat till like 2-3 p.m. You just wake up, like have a good night the night before. Don't eat till like 2 a.m. I mean to 2 p.m.
Right,
and then go there and then get like a full meal.
Sounds perfect. Like I started doing the fasting, like intermittent stuff. I'm getting fat.
Oh,
dude.
then that's good.
Fat as fuck.
Do that then.
I can't control it. I'll show you guys pictures of like 10 years ago, like when I was like, I looked like him.
You lucky bastard.
I know. I
never looked like that.
I looked just like that. And then like in the last, when I hit 30,
yeah, it
was kind of like, okay, this is kind of getting hard to keep up.
Yeah. And
then 31, 32, I was like, no matter how much I exercise, the shit is not disappearing like it used to disappear. And now I'm 33, and now I'm fucking fat. And I'm just like, I can't get rid of it. Like, I don't know what to do.
It's inevitable.
So I started doing fasting, and I'm like, all right, I give myself enough time to do this. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for like the last 2.5 years.
Right.
The only problem with jiu-jitsu is that, it gets you in shape, but you get really swollen because you get injured sometimes.
Yeah, doing shit.
And so, like, all of this is like that inflammation or whatever it is of just getting cranked, and you're just like, I feel really fit and really skinny, but like everything is bloated.
Yeah.
It's like but I'm solid. But I need to get skinny.
Yeah.
So I might try that. I'm gonna fast for like 16 hours.
Yeah, and then have a Whataburger.
I'm gonna go to Whataburger and I'm gonna die.
And then you got to eat it then and there, because I will give Whataburger a thing that the fries will get cold.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't eat them fresh, like they're not as good.
Just get a double and no fries.
No, get the fries.
Get the fries.
Get the fries. You got.
They do a triple,
Don't half-ass
they?
it. You got to go to Whataburger and go.
They used to do a triple. Don't they?
They still do the triple. It's what he gets fucking animal over here, but.
I might do the triple, no fries.
What helps with the fries is the spicy ketchup.
Spicy ketchup.
Oh man, but see, then I get heartburn. Man, you see, getting old sucks, bro.
Fucking, it's worth it. Just drink a Topo Chico afterwards and you'll be fine.
Yeah, Pepto. Keep some Pepto handy.
Pinche té con limón. That's it.
Man, it's the sugar. That's what I said today. I'm like, you know what? I've been sneaking a little bit of gummy bears
here and there.
You know, maybe an extra cheesecake after the fucking Friday workday's over. Yeah. I'm like, let's get a slice. Why not? No more. That's it. No more sugar. It should be an immediate improvement. Because that traje, man, I haven't touched that bitch in 4 months. I don't even know if we're gonna get along.
That shit'll humble you, bro.
Oh man!
As soon as you put it on, you're like, oh, okay. That's what time it is. It's time to get fit. That shit.
You got to do the trick where you're not wearing underwear and you sit on your bed. And
okay. Oh, fuck. I'd be kind of scared. Fucking zipper grab one of my pubes or something. I don't know. Can I talk about that?
Are we allowed to talk about that shit?
I don't know if I can talk about it.
Hey, it's mariachi. It's what happens.
Yeah, it's what happens, man. It's real.
It must. I mean, I've gotten pretty big. But yeah, fitting in the traje when you're big, it's the worst fucking thing, dude. Yeah. It is not fun.
I can relate.
I don't like it at all. Like I don't even. It makes me not even want to play.
Yeah,
I'm like shit. True. I don't even.
You're uncomfortable.
You're uncomfortable. You're afraid your fly's gonna fucking burst out and your shit's gonna pop out. And I'm just like, fuck. I don't want this to happen during a gig, dude. Because there's no extra cloth to like just be like, oh, okay, I just fold it over and it'll be all right.
Actually, that happened to me once. What I did was my wing popped out, right? Because like my zipper went out.
Yeah. So
what happened was, you know how like Vihuela players sometimes they have like the rag that covers their gala.
Yeah.
I put it on there like a fucking quarterback, dog. Like I had it, you know, like
like a little curtain, like at your
it was like a curtain. I literally felt like a quarterback, dude. Because when I was walking out, like I just had it like.
Man.
With your wang out?
Yeah, it was with the blue suit because we have a blue suit and I went to a restroom and I went to go pee or whatever, and when I put it back, it's just like
it broke off, right?
It sucked too because it was at the planta. I remember we were doing talon, so we get closer to the people. Yeah, we get closer like to the tables.
Like so it's like
yeah, dude. Like
yeah, I'm not gonna say names, but like that when we're playing in front of that table, like the girl was kind of like drunk, so she was just like. You know, like I'm over here, bro.
Hey, keep looking.
Just have your whole wang out, like, oh shit, bro.
I can't help it, dude. Because those are tight pants for me.
Yeah, those tight pants for you.
So, like it does that thing where it's like a zipper, but without the pressure, it does that thing.
Yeah, like
where it opens up,
like curves.
Yeah,
it's like real mariachis have curves. Like no, they don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Looks like you got a cup down there.
Yeah, right.
It looks
like the bulge.
Like you just got kicked in the nuts. Like
pretty much. Yeah.
It's
like I was on a date earlier and we didn't do anything, so I got this problem.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh Jesus. Oh man, I'm so glad I'm married. I don't do that shit anymore.
Yeah, same actually.
That's kind of nice. It's kind of nice.
Kind of nice.
Sorry for Victor, man.
Yeah, sorry about you and your cat, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. I got an appointment right now.
Yeah, you got a PP. You got fucking. Never mind. I can't say. No comment.
Save the stories for the gigs.
Oh no.
All right, y'all. Los CharroBeans, thank you for being here. Maybe we'll do this some more sometime. We can talk forever, dude. Whenever.
It's that kind of thing, bro. Mariachi just kind of keeps going.
Yeah, just jam out. I got some instruments here.
Yeah, man.
Just feature your vihuela. Whatever, dude. All right. Thank you guys for watching the PlayMariachi Podcast. Peace.
Bye, guys.